legend, Storm, you know he actually showed up in the outfit with a skin suit and everything just to hide all his junk and stuff. Showed up to a con in the outfit. The guy himself did it.
What an absolute fucking Chad.
He had the pot hat and everything.
I wish I had no life, so I could do stuff like that.
Wow, and we were live.
Boy.
No, the even funnier part was someone was dressed as Melania and they kneeled when he walked by.
Fucking better.
I wish I had time to sit there and play games like all day long, every day, 7 days a week.
Man, if only we were upper middle class, not lower middle class. Dang it.
That's why we need your help, chat. We need you to make us Twitch famous. Tell your friends, like, subscribe, comment. I don't know how the Twitch machine works.
The D&D nerds need you.
Do it for me. Do it for America.
We're streaming.
I wouldn't really say that he's worth it. I would do it for like maybe Brian. Brian has like kids and a family to provide for.
No. Screw that. Do it for the fact I want to see women cosplaying my character that are attractive. Look, we have a strict ban. There's a weight limit.
What a dick. All right. After y'all took care of the business with the kobold, and discovered the information that you did, a couple days pass, and everyone is summoned to a meeting in hell. All in the series. At the table, or at Asirio's desk, sits the man himself, Valkyrin, and of all people, sits the Shadow Queen, Victoria, as they're looking over a map of the over the southern part of the continent, the mountains, and the Silver Sanctum itself. Asirio welcomes you all as you enter the room. Greetings, friends. We were just discussing how we're gonna make this happen.
I mean, that is a good question. I mean, it's not like just anyone can waltz into there.
So, just
Is the Shadow Queen's in here?
I can't remember what we're doing.
We're having a meeting with Asirio and Victoria.
Yes, no, I got that. What are we talking about? Because I have 3 kids.
The Silver Sanctum.
Oh, okay. Yes, we're gonna blow it up.
Where the weapon shipments is.
Yes, I'm gonna dynamite and explosions.
That's where the nuns are. The monks are, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I recall now. That's all I need.
Running arcade.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Wait, are we using dynamite?
We'll discuss it. We'll discuss the logistics of Silver.
Yeah. I have a question. Can we use like a biological attack?
Ooh, chemical warfare could work. I didn't even think about that. Like leave the land. Yeah.
I was gonna say, can you light the dynamite with like this necro ooze I have in this vial?
Ooh, make it like evaporate into the air, and if you breathe it in, it's coat your lungs.
So, Second Son can't you open a portal?
And then it turns into a zombie. That'd be cool as shit.
No, unless I get to kill the zombie, then it's cool.
Second Son, can you open up a portal to this place?
Unfortunately, no.
I figured that. I mean, they wouldn't just let a demon walk into a city full of, holy figures, monks, and things that would kill us very quickly.
Princess of the Dark, can you open up a portal?
Victoria shakes her head and says, not even I can just waltz into Silver Sanctum.
Dang it, if we could just drop an army of your vampire whores in there, they'd be so busy. Like a monk with a bunch of naked vampire girls running around.
So Victoria doesn't have smugglers that knows a secret entrance into the Silver Sanctum?
So after the Second Great Dragon War, this is Asirio talking. After the Second Great Dragon War, Dragon Lord Ferndate, the Silver Dragon Lord, retired from the art of war itself and instead trains warrior monks. But the problem is that they're very self-sufficient, self-sustaining, and are effectively cut off from the rest of the continent.
So wait a minute.
So they live off the grid. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, they got the solar candles and everything.
Ayana pauses a second and says, "So you're telling me that a dragon is in charge of this, and that
Yes.
men, I'm assuming it's all men since they're monks, are going to willfully go under this dragon and be monks?"
Yes.
So they're a dragon cult. Is that what you're saying?
No.
That's what it sounds like.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm hearing.
They're closer to like a paladin order without divine magic.
Well, what kind of paladin is that?
A shitty one.
Yeah.
The cult kind.
Actually, as I played a monk several times, they do have a path that's completely holy magic, and it's frickin' terrifying.
But generally, the monks of the Silver Sanctum deal with sort of like the orc threat that is currently beating down the door of the village outside of Mooncrown. They wander around and help people. That's pretty much what they do. It was Ferdinate's plan of penance after the Great Dragon War was a fiasco, and as far as politically for him, I mean, he still attends the Dragon Summits, but other than that, he's generally very reclusive.
So I just had a vision of these paladins. They're pretend paladins, and their secret power is the power of imagination.
Imagination.
Do they have wooden swords too?
They have monk weapons, but they usually fight with their fists.
Oh,
There's very
fancy.
there's very few accounts of them that I have access to. They're occasionally known to go help the different churches with their work, since they're not directly associated with the divine being. So they're generally pretty widely accepted amongst the churches. They generally help reinforce the Church of Riser and the Church of Luna when it comes to dealing with external threats like maybe orcs or undead or the various things that go bump in the night.
So you're saying they have a close relationship with the Church of Riser, say, as I look over at Geralt?
Close is a strong word. Think of it more as a mutually beneficial relationship.
Okay, so pause. So I know am I keenly familiar with these monks? Like, can I answer questions and get information? If like Brian asked me a question, can you answer for it?
I can answer to the best of your knowledge.
Okay. So yeah, any questions, Brian? Feel free.
What kind of mutual beneficial relationship do you guys have with these monks, if I might be so bold as to ask?
So, from Nathan's time in the monastery, or rather, I guess that's what would be a monastery or a priory or whatever. I want you to think of these monks kind of like witchers.
Oh, that's terrifying already.
Yeah. So
So
they
it's not a bunch of virgin guys in robes.
No, but yeah, they use their fists, so at least they got that.
Yeah.
Because the witcher's a badass with a sword.
Actually, this is going to be. I'm going to make a cross comparison here. As far as the monks themselves, Geralt, you've met one or two at most.
Mm-hmm.
There's not very many of them, but what they lack in manpower, they make up in sheer skill and power.
Okay.
One monk from the Silver Sanctum is probably worth at least 4 paladins.
How
Oh
high?
my.
How high level paladins? We talking?
Yeah, he does a.
Like 4 level 5 paladins, or
We're gonna go with 4 level 6 paladins.
okay. That's still that's pretty good. That's really tough.
That's pretty good.
Wasn't it
I'm looking
level
at paladins. I'm looking at level 6 paladins now.
They don't exclusively use their fists, but they do have access to some sort of magic. It's not
Sometimes they use
divine magic, it's not arcane. It's not necessarily pact magic. They're not 110% certain what it is. But Geralt has seen it in action.
Can I
Level
roll
16.
a history check?
Oh my.
I say this because, first off,
That's
Shio,
fair.
having traveled around, might have knowledge of what that magic may be. And second off, it's possible she could have run into him in her travels. She has done her part to travel a lot.
Shit.
I'll go ahead and tell you up front. You can roll history, but the DC is going to be really high.
Oh my.
I'll take that bet.
So
That gun, I did it again.
hey, can I just metagame? Can I metagame some information here real quick?
do you need a power comparison, like an accurate one?
Well, I just want everybody to know that a level 6 paladin can use Divine Smite using a level 2 spell slot, dealing an additional 3d8 damage, radiant damage at that, to demons if they hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I immediately noticed whenever he said level 6. My first thought is, oh, crap.
So, Clay, you do recall that you've met one. One has come to eat at your restaurant, and you didn't see them in action. You didn't see them use any magic. But as far as you can remember, they did not carry a magical foci. And nor did they carry a component pouch.
So the spell casting would be something along the lines of something. It wouldn't be pact, but divination magic.
Divine.
You wouldn't have to make a pact to do divination magic. You would just have to have a faith. And it would make sense, seeing as they are known as a very holy city.
And conveniently enough, level 6. Good, pretty bad. How about that? Hey guys, I'm just gonna tell you, this is gonna suck.
Syrio tells you that we're currently working on a plan. We're not entirely certain ourselves how the House of Zariel got that shipment of weapons into Silver Sanctum. We know that the Kobold had something to do with it, but we're not really sure how or for what purpose, or even how they're going to get the damn things out.
I have a question for the Shadow Queen, because she employs paladins.
Does she what?
She employs paladins. You said she has paladin guards or something like that.
Yeah, she has a paladin order dedicated to her.
So what's the chances of us being able to turn these paladins to the dark side and avoid a direct confrontation?
If I had to take a betting guess, I'd say about as slim a chance as you overthrowing the Drow Queen and becoming the king.
She tells you, I've been around for a rather long time, being a vampire and being a god and all that. I'm also quite well versed in the art of the arcane, magic, everything. If it does shit that it's not supposed to, I can probably figure out why. But those monks, whatever it is that they do, they keep that shit locked up tighter than a nun in a damn whorehouse.
Gio sits back and thinks for a second.
I have an idea.
What would that be?
How about we send Gerald in, wishing to become a monk of the order, and then he can learn how they become, how they use their magic, and possibly we can separate them from said magic.
That seems too risky. At the same chance that they find out what has happened, for several people. First off, Geralt in general would be putting his life on the line if anything went wrong. Second off, we have to consider the fact that would they even accept them? No offense, Geralt, but not
I mean,
a lot
he
of
did knock
people
out. He did knock out a dragon with his elbow. So I mean,
yeah, but at the same
that looks
time,
good on the resume. Just say
I
it.
mean, I'm
So
not
a
going to
monk
deny
with
that in
faster
regard.
fist. Could you imagine what he would do if he was highly trained with his fists? He's already knocked out a dragon.
Well, I don't disagree with that. We also have to consider the fact that if they would accept them, I don't mean to be mean, Geralt, but not a lot of the world is accepting of hobgoblins as we are.
Geralt can't hear you. Geralt is scratching Tommy's belly.
So we have to consider that.
Shio raises a good point, but also we're not even sure what the requirements are, the prerequisites for recruitment into this order. If people are born into it, or if it's a way of life, or they recruit outsiders. I know of none.
And that's exactly how we find out. They're sending Geralt in and see how far he gets.
So before I come in on this conversation, I have a very important question.
Okay.
Is Victoria hot?
She emits mad goth mommy dommy energy.
Okay, so girl walks up like, all right. You hear the sexy jazz music playing in the background. Gerald drops and he's like, somebody get me some guy liner.
The way I dance, we're together.
Shio sets her hand right in front of Geralt as she snaps her fingers, snapping him out of it.
My jaw drops more. Now the drool's flowing from my giant protruding lower jaw.
I'm picturing that song off of Deadpool.
I've never watched it, unfortunately. Sorry.
I know the song and I cannot remember the name of it.
I'm currently reaching into my nun satchel, and I'm pulling you some dang eyeliner. I'm painting you up.
I'm now an emo.
On a scale from Hot Topic to Spencer's, how dark do you want this?
You remember 30 Seconds to Mars before they became lame?
Yes.
Like
oh,
that.
Lord.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, I may not have enough. Okay, I got you. I got it. I start doodling you up.
Heck yeah. So now
when you turn around, you have confidence. I want you to believe in yourself. This gay liner is giving you energy. Do you understand?
Yes, I am the man. I can do this.
Come back. Do not take no for an answer until, is it Timmy or Tommy?
Tommy.
Until Tommy has a mommy.
All right.
I feel like
All right. I'm going in, guys. I'm going in.
As you walk away, Jake goes up on my shoulder. I'm like, he doesn't stand a chance. He's probably gonna.
Sirio says, I appreciate all of yours enthusiasm, but we've got some reconnaissance work to do. We're going to primarily gather intelligence and recon Silver Sanctum and figure out if there's even a way in, maybe grease some palms. It'll probably take us about a month to get that far. So I suggest that you take some time for yourselves. Take a well-deserved vacation and prepare, because it's going to get messy.
So you're saying I don't get to walk up to Victoria, Queen of the Night?
Hey, Jill, here's your song right here for it, okay?
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Where's the song?
And copyright strike in.
I can't hear it.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I can't hear it on my end.
I can't.
I'm getting it cut in and out.
Anyway, are you sure you want to walk up to Victoria?
Well, okay, so here's what he... Gerald has so much emo confidence right now. He's gonna go into the darkest corner and look at Victoria and be like, "What's up?" Hey,
She just has this absolute look of, oh god, he's gonna die.
Imagine Geralt turning back to me, and me and Jake try to give you a thumbs up.
I bet you think your drink was the only thing that's going to be dark and stormy today.
She stares at you more or less like dumbfounded that there's someone either so brave or foolish as to approach her in such a manner.
Jesus.
All right,
I'm gonna bring the thunder from down under, Gerald.
I'm going to take both my pointer fingers and lick them and then sweep across my eyebrows and make sure that they are pristine. Then I'm going to walk up to her and go on one knee.
I just didn't polish your lower fangs.
There we go. I'm going to scrape off the plaque. I'm going to walk up, go on one knee.
Don't kill him.
Take her hand and be like, my lady, you are the most wondrous sight I have beheld this day.
Like a black diamond amongst the sea of malachite.
In a shocking turn of events, Victoria is so flabbergasted that you actually managed to take her hand and she just stares at you. Assyrio is sweating bullets in the corner.
Geralt, you got it. He's in a daze. Go for the kill.
Put his desk between himself and the Duchess of Debauchery.
It's cardboard. It won't help you, second son.
Can I use prestidigitation to make a glint peer off of one of his lower teeth?
Do I make a charisma check?
There ain't a charisma check in the freaking world to save you right now.
I want to use my prestidigitation to make his teeth appear pearly white and glinty in the light.
Shing.
So
I'm going to be using one of my abilities. I'm using Flame Wing as a shield.
So you, as Shim makes your teeth grow or glow shiny white, you are suddenly slammed to the ground by two scantily clad women that appeared out of nowhere.
I had a dream about this one time.
One of them you recognize as Stephanie, and they're looking at you with seething anger.
Shio peeked up from one of the wings. Geralt, that was one thing I was going to mention. Out of all my travels, I have actually learned about Victoria a little, and she's kind of into the. She's kind of a lesbian, a raging lesbian.
Ayala just says, "Well, I don't know. My God has told me differently."
Ayana's got a drink to fix that, Gerald.
Josh said he's imagining Johnny Bravo or.
No, I'm just picturing Geralt in his hobgoblin voice. All you just hear is, "Oh, mama."
Tackled by scantily clad women.
So all of the Gerald's confidence is now smashed into the floor. Just there's no more. So now it's just like,
So very fortunate for you, and probably even more fortunate for Assyrio. Victoria finds you amusing.
So
she
can you
laughs and tells Stephanie and the other girl to get off of you.
Oh, thank you, my lady.
She laughs. You might be smart, but you're definitely not clever.
How did you know?
Shio just kind of takes a deep breath, tilting her head back. Aren't those the same? You know what? Never mind.
She turns to Assyrio and says, "All right, I'll put my people to work, and we'll figure this out." And she disappears in a puff of smoke.
Wait, I have a question before she goes. I want to retcon something.
Oh, what?
I want to ask them about the stupid monk people.
Okay.
There's no followers. They help out the churches. They don't help out It's general stuff like nuisance things they help the church out with. They're not directly involved with the churches, right? That's what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay. So any religion, basically, they would help out.
If they find themselves in proximity to what's happening, they kind of just meander around the world, and some of them do.
Oh, so they're on welfare. Gotcha.
Yes.
I was just curious if they'd help with my church if the situation arose.
It's a possibility, depending on what it is. Victoria disappears in a puff of smoke, and you watch the two women that appeared and took Geralt to the ground and disappear into the shadows of the room.
Hey, Gerald, you asked for one, and two of them showed up and grabbed you. Do you believe that?
You mean I did good?
Listen, you asked for one, but there was 3 interested in you and 2 touching you.
Shio leans back and she goes from calm to dead go. Are you stupid? In about 3 minutes.
And Gerald just eats it up. Like who cares what Chio's saying right now? Chio is a lady and understands what's going on. Geralt is a guy and he has no idea.
I'm gonna smack Gerald on the back and say, "Good job, man. You went for one and wound up with all 3, dude."
Yeah, I did really good. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Assyria looks at Chio and says, "He's gonna die, isn't he?"
Oh, maliciously. Now teleport me out here before they come back to finish the job.
A true inspiration right there, Gerald.
Oh, but Assyria's a devil. What do I even say? Anyway,
obviously,
I have to ask one simple question.
Well, he is half angelic though, so he's like a lesser being than devils.
Well, he's half fallen angel, technically. But I digress. So Assyrio teleports after your meeting's concluded, and you basically get paid leave. You're teleported back to Mooncrown, and you sort of meander off in your own directions. And we're gonna start off the story with Clay. Clay,
Which of my 4 that are viable options are we going to do first?
you find your way into the private military, the PMC Guild, or the PMC, the Iron Legion, and you meet with your old swordmaster, Denwis.
An honor to meet you again, sir.
Aye, lass. Glad to see you're still in one piece.
After what just happened, I am surprised, but that's a story for another day.
What can I do you for today?
Well, I'm curious. I know I am somewhat talented with this blade, but would it be possible to get practice using 2?
Well, not for me, but you're lucky I got a guy that owes me a favor. As he points to this hulking mass of a man in the room, or on the other side of the room, great club slung across his back, shoulders wrapped in a it's not a cloak, it's like a hood. And
Hey, Shaw.
yes, his arms and legs extremely muscular with a Shigoki gut.
You had me with everything, then you said Shigoki gun. I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay, what is a Shigoki gut?
You've never played For Honor, have you?
No.
Shigoki.
You have both fat and muscular at the same time.
Think sumo wrestler big.
Yeah. Okay.
Except also has a 6-pack.
Under that layer of the layer of fat. But anyway.
No, there's actually one of his outfits. You see it. His fat gut has a 6-pack on it.
Oh my gosh.
I wish I was kidding.
He directs you to him. He goes, "Let's tell him I sent you over there."
She nods, thanking him, also slipping him some gold pieces and a meal she had prepared for him. As you wish. She walks over to the hulking mass of a being.
He's human.
Oh, he is human. I didn't know. I wasn't gonna assume.
And you notice he's fucking huge. He stands eye to eye with you.
Dang. Hello there.
The man turns to face you in a booming Australian accented voice. Well, hello there!
So, my sensei of the sword says you can help me with dual wielding.
Ooh, fancy.
He looks at you, and I'm gonna try my absolute damnedest to pull this off. Ain't you a beautiful Sheila?
Thank you, sir.
Well, I might be able to help you a little bit with that. What's your name?
Shio Iwazaki.
You can call me Lord Scrotus.
You couldn't come up with a better name.
It wasn't my name.
Lord Dickbag.
Was it Elizabeth?
No. This is
I'm
Josh's fan service. He goes, now, what do you know about fighting with two weapons? Let's see you got.
Not a lot.
Let's see you got your sword and your meat cleaver you got there.
You noticed. I take pride in this, but I never use this for fighting. This meat cleaver is mostly for work. Though, I'm pretty sure a good dagger would stack very well with my longsword.
He goes, come on, let's see what you got. As he directs your attention to the ring in the middle of the ring in the middle of the room. He walks in and gets inside.
Shio follows him, putting the meat cleaver into one of the holsters on the side of her belt.
So, as he has two long swords on it, he has a long sword on each hip, and along with a great club on his back, and that damn great club is as big as he is. And he says, "All right, let's see what you got." As he takes the great club off of his back and throws it in the corner, and then pops something that was on his chest, and his Shigoki gut hits the ground, and it's now apparent that it was a training weight.
Shio actually just takes a step back with a look of, holy crap. My, that's, I'm actually surprised on this one.
Hell, you carry around a damn club that size and don't see if you need something to balance out the weight.
I'm curious. She walks up and tries to lift it.
You can't.
Shio looks at this thing like, dear God, I'm about to die.
He casually kicks it to the side where the great club was, and he says, what do you say? What do you want me to say? What is it? All right, sweet cheeks, let's see what you got. As he draws both of the swords.
Shio draws her long sword.
All right, we're going to take a pause here, and we're going to switch over to our friend Geralt.
Yes.
So, as you meander around Mooncrown, Tadakon starts to talk to you, and he says, "So, you want to talk about what we were talking about the other day?"
Yeah. We can do that. That sounds nice.
Your existential crisis you had going on there, buddy. You know?
I mean, I definitely remember my existential crisis. If you would like to talk about it, Master Slave, we may.
Actually, are you ready to learn the truth.
Yes, I am. Tell me the truth.
So he takes you. He directs you to a location in the world map, just south of the Forbidden Forest.
You got a quest.
And you've got a quest. And you walk along the road, and you and Tadakon. The first thing Tadakon talks to you about is your service to Riser.
Right. Uh-huh.
Is there anything in particular that you want to divulge about your character's upbringing in the Priory of Riser?
You mean tell you about?
Well, tell our audience.
Well, I was around 8. Gerald was around. Do I need to do it in Gerald's voice?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, because Tadakon already knows. He's been with me since birth. So, he was around 8 years old when Gerald realized he was adopted by his 2 human parents. He never really got along with the other kids.
Can't imagine why.
He met this one dude called Dyke Bison, and he bit his ear off in a fight one time.
Hell you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just grew up in the Church of Riser with his 2 wonderful 2 human parents who took care of him and raised him in Riser's embrace.
So, as you've been walking for a couple of days now, you come to the top of the hill, and you see the shattered and weather-torn remains of what was once a small village. And Tadakon tells you that this is where your life changed forever.
What do you mean my life? Have I ever been to this village?
Not that you would remember.
I've never even been here.
You were far too young to remember ever being here.
You mean? No. Is this a human village?
No, it's a hobgoblin village. It was very well fortified.
So this is where?
This is where you were born, and this is where most of your friends and family died.
You put me in an awkward spot.
Good.
Because how does Gerald play this? That's what I'm wondering right now. I don't know if he'd be. Let him just walk. Let's walk. Let's keep walking. Let's go into the village.
Okay. So you walk about the village.
Examining. He's definitely examining. If that helps.
Yes.
Yes.
And most of it, there's burn marks everywhere. Some of it's been torched to cinders. A colossal battle happened here. And as you move around, you see corpses.
Clearly hobgoblin corpses, I take it. Oh, he's gone. He died. No, he was the corpse.
Technical difficulties, everybody. He shall return in time. There he is.
You really can't count on people anymore.
I know. Where did I get cut off at?
You said I saw corpses.
All right, you see corpses, or rather, what's left of them.
Mm-hmm.
Very obviously, hobgoblin skeletons, large, protruding, lower.
Yeah, big, lower. What do you call it? Mandible? It's not mandible. What's the word I'm looking for? Protruding,
No,
protruding jaws.
Yes.
You're right. It's mandible.
I'm really not sure. But semantics aside, and as you've navigated through this little village, you've made your way to the heart of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see someone in a black robe knelt down in the village center, flanked on both sides by rather large, imposing men in black armor carrying great swords on their backs.
Okay. Do I recognize the armor? Is it a uniform?
Yes, but it's not one that you recognize.
Are weapons drawn?
No, they're on their backs.
They're on their backs. Like dead?
No, the weapons are on their backs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not in their backs.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna hang back and listen for a second.
So, they don't notice you. You kind of hide yourself behind the remnants of a small tent,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear the woman praying.
It's a lady. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Do I still have my eyeliner on?
I would imagine. I'm not sure because you traveled for several days to get here.
Okay, so no, it's worn off by now. Now it's just like run down my face and it looks like war paint. Okay.
And you hear her praying to the stars.
Okay.
And
You mean that heathen god Luna?
no,
Okay.
she's not named a particular god. She's praying to the stars.
I got you. Okay. I thought you gotcha. Continue.
So she asked the stars to guide her husband's soul home, and she prays for her son by the name of Geralt.
Don't you dare. You did not. No, you're not doing this. No. No, 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 no.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh no. He's pulling this card.
I would never do such a thing.
What a cocksucker. Geralt's supposed to be funny, and you brought a mommy in here? Do you know what happens to Dakota when we bring mommies into the game?
Oh god.
Usually they're dead by that point. He's like Disney.
Okay. All right. So Gerald, his ears perk up at the sound of his name, and he's gonna very slowly and cautiously approach this lady.
The one of the black armored clad men put their hand up and say, "Halt! Who goes there?"
My name just so happens to be Gerald of Ryza.
The woman, like, she's got a robe on that covers, like, she's hooded.
Yeah.
And she, like, looks up at the distance in front of her, and she says, "What is one of Riser's cronies doing here, back here, after all that they've done?"
I'm looking for the truth.
So she stands up and turns to face you, and she says, "Well, the truth is that your people came through here," and she stops, dead in her tracks, as she takes her hood off, and you see the face of an aging hobgoblin woman that just stares at you blankly. And Tanacon tells you, "The truth is, you and her are the only ones that made it out."
I don't know what to say, dude. I'm getting goosebumps.
Not gonna lie, it's not even my storyline, and I'm getting them.
Holy crap. Geralt just blank stares back at her. He's having an internal monologue right now.
Okay.
And the internal monologue is, I had parents, and they raised me. Where was she? Who is she? Is she really? So he's trying to gauge what could have happened, and is this really her mother, because surely there could have been someone else named Geralt. I'm sure it was a popular name at that time. And what does this mean with his new life, this life that he's had?
Tadakon interjects into your internal monologue and says, "The evidence is all around you."
But I mean, surely there was a reason, Tadakon. Surely they wouldn't have been unruly flames and just killed a village without a purpose.
That purpose's name was Derek.
Who is this Derek?
Derek was a knight of the Lunar Order, not Luna's Paladin Order, the Lunar Order. They're separate entities.
Okay.
Very, very important distinction.
Okay. So to push this along, Tadakon tells me this, and I've got some answers. I've got a direction. Can I look at this lady and say, "Will you walk with me?"
She nods slowly and tells her men to wait there.
Okay. So we walk. She shows me. What does she show me? You tell me what she shows me.
She walks you around the village, and she takes you to a small hut, and she's just as much in shock of everything as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality of her current situation is not set in yet.
Okay.
And
fair. Yeah, same here. Mm-hmm.
She takes you to a small hut and says, "If you are really my son, this is where you were born. And this is where your father fell." But Riser's people did not find everything, as she digs in through the ground and pulls out a little small sack. And inside of this little small sack is a set of dog tags with presumably Geralt's father's name on them. And on the backs of them is the sigil of the Green Dragon Lord.
I'm sorry. What? Why? Why?
The one you decked.
No.
No. The Green
I
Dragon
thought he
Lord's
was one of the
Tadakon.
dragon.
Well,
Oh,
Tadakon is the first Green Dragon Lord.
Yeah.
There's a new Green Dragon Lord that holds that same office.
Okay.
which was the one that Geralt kind of punched in the mouth.
No, that was just a regular dragon. The Dragon Lord himself was at a summit at that time.
Ah.
Okay.
So wait, the Hobgoblin village is worshiping the dragon inside you.
Is
What
that
the
what
twist?
is that what I'm understanding?
No. These dog tags, it could be extrapolated that these dog tags are of a soldier who served in the Third Great Dragon War.
Okay. Oh. And so my dad was a warrior. Is that what?
Yes, he was in the army. Or he was in the Green Dragon's army, more specifically.
So in my internal dialogue with Tadakon, I would be like, "Is this why you chose me?"
This is just as much a surprise to me as it is for you, friend. I don't really get to choose.
This is a surprise. You want to talk about a surprise? You've known the whole time.
I love it. Yes.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because you couldn't hear my voice until here recently. I've been here the whole time.
I mean, yeah, we've only been in 5 days, so maybe a week, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So I'm gonna look at supposed mommy dearest. Say, why did you leave me?
She tells you, I didn't, or rather, not by my own volition. I assumed that you were dead.
How does one assume that their child is dead?
Well, when you take an arrow through the shoulder blade that you're holding your baby on, and the baby starts bleeding, and you fall to the ground and tumble over the battlements, it's generally a pretty safe assumption.
Oh, well, I'm a dick. You're right. Whoops. Okay. Okay, that answers that question. I think that's, well, crap. But Riser's so cool. I get to hate the undead and be really cool about it.
You saying that to me, or you saying that to mommy, dearest?
No, I'm saying it to you. I'm saying it to you, not to mommy.
No.
I'm saying I don't want to hate Riser. I like Riser. That horse hasn't showed back up, and nobody has said a thing because they know that I did the right thing. I made the right call. I make the hard decisions. It's what I do.
She tells you that, she tells you that the problem isn't necessarily with Riser himself. It's with what Riser's church has done.
We can't live in the past. I mean, how old am I? Like 30?
Yeah, this has been a while ago. Like, this has happened a while ago.
I mean, things have changed. I've done great things with the church. Surely it has changed. Surely you can see some clarity in the current, the now, the present.
She reaches into her robe and pulls out an envelope and hands it to you. She says, this problem with the churches isn't getting much better.
Okay, I take my sharp hobgoblin nail and shing, slice through it. And then, what's it say?
So what it is it's an intelligence report. And one of the churches of Riser is set to lay siege to, I have it right here, is set to lay siege to the Fortress of the Moon and lay waste to followers of Luna. More specifically, the fortress that houses the Lunar Order itself.
What? That's not right. This is clearly this can't be right. This must be a forgery, a false claim upon the church to start a war.
She tells you that the gears are already falling into motion for a straight up holy war between all of the major churches.
The punishment's due.
She tells you, she says, I am a member of the Starfallen.
Okay. What is the Starfall?
So, to refresh your memory, you found some documents connecting the Starfallen to some of the activities that's been going on around Preston that you've stumbled across.
Okay.
Connected to the name of some of the documents imply that there's a connection between the Starfallen and Dr. DeRozan. or Dr. Benadryl, as you call him.
Dr. Benadryl. I know who Dr. I remember him. Okay. So that's connected. So she's like a spy?
She's a spy? No. She just believes in what the Starfallen stand for.
Okay. Does this piece of paper give us any information as to when they're going to lay siege?
They're going to lay siege in 6 days' time.
Well, this good thing my persuasion skill's so high. All right. Man, what? Well, it's awkward silence after I look at the note, look back at her, look back at the note, look back at her, double check the note, look back at her, and then stand there awkwardly. You might be slightly right about the Church of Ryza, but not every follower is an unruly flame.
She says, perhaps not, but a bad apple can ruin the lot.
And a good apple can grow a new tree.
She looks around the waste, the absolute wasteland that was this battlefield. And she tells you that the Church of Ryza sent an inquisitionary force in order to capture. It's the wrong tab. That's the wrong document. To capture a knight, a man by the name of Derrig.
Now, is she saying that to like victimize? Or is she trying to just give me the information like I need to find Derrig?
Well, here's the overarching dialogue she's going to say is that they came here and wiped out an entire hobgoblin village because we saved someone who was in the woods that did not agree with them.
Was he undead?
No, he wasn't undead, at least not.
That sucks. That would have been a great way.
She tells you, I'm not really quite certain what he was.
Okay.
But he did not have the stench of undeath.
Okay. I'm gonna try to rationalize this as best as I can. I don't know how far you're expecting me to go role playing this. So say yes, this was an atrocity. But from the ashes I rose. And I have done much good. And I will continue to do good. Both as a follower of Ryza and as your son. And I hope that you will understand that this is the life that has been given to me, and I will use it for good.
So she...
Come on, Mom. Come on, Mom. Do it, Mom, please.
She pulls out a map.
Yes.
And marks a location on it.
Go, Mom.
And hands you said map. And tells you that she marks 2 places on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and say that. Marks 2 places on the map.
Okay.
And one location is directly to the east. It's east and runs along the intersection of the river. And I realize now that I don't have my screen sharing right now. There we go.
You don't.
I forgot my computer died. Okay. She gives you a map. One of the locations is right here.
Okay.
Right where this river intersects.
Oh, that's a river. Okay, yeah.
Yes. And she tells you that if you don't believe her and everything that's going on, then this is where you can go to find out more. It's the location of the Fortress of the Moon and home of the Lunar Order.
Okay. Is that where she's at?
No, she tells you that she has taken up residence in the city of Brass. Is currently where she resides.
Oh, well, good thing we didn't. Weren't we gonna blow up the city?
I
No,
can't
we're gonna.
remember.
I think we're gonna blow up Copper D's.
We're gonna blow
No,
Gold.
Golden Horizon.
That's what it was. I mean, I believe her. Don't get me wrong. Like, I believe these things happen, but I believe, like, Geralt in his mind has rationalized that these things have happened for a reason, and the reason was Riser chose him in that moment to spare him. I don't know. Because he foreknew that the church would become corrupt and needed to be reformed. It's all making sense. It's all coming together. All coming together. Geralt understands 100% Riser's purpose for keeping him alive and what he needs to do. It's time to sanctify some unruly flames, guys.
Oh gosh. Okay, so while you decide your next course of action,
Okay.
Dakota, are you there? Dakota. Do.
Dakota.
Went up there for a second.
Bill Cosby, nothing.
What?
What? I'm here. That's our phone.
There we go. Well, you cut out, and it sounded like. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
Can't hear you if you're disconnecting.
So, once you start walking, after you get teleported to Moon Crown, you get a letter from Jake the Bravo Bat. And the sender is the Colonel.
Oh, Lord.
Jake wanna eat good tonight. We got in.
So you open up the letter, and the Colonel writes in to inform you that one of your church people have been arrested.
Well, the Colonel's not one for shit information, so why were they arrested and where were they arrested?
So he tells you that they were arrested by a particularly small kobold with affiliation to the Church of Molina. They were arrested on some bogus charges.
This is the bullshit detective. Oh, change that, Jake. We're gonna be eating dirty land dragon tonight.
And he says they got this individual on some bullshit charges while they were harvesting the necessary herbs for the juice.
The superiority juice.
Yes, the superiority juice.
The Bill Cosby drug.
No, it's superiority juice. Get it right.
I'm not wrong.
You are wrong.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so
Nathan, can you clip the clips of every time he's used it? I want my evidence of the Bill Cosby drug.
We're sure I has never raped anybody.
We have. Well, you're
Okay.
none.
Anyway.
That sounds like a confession.
Anyway, are you gonna rush to the Port of Bronze and get a handle on the situation?
Who was arrested?
How valuable are they?
Oh my gosh. Amy was arrested.
All right. We're going to call Minerva and we're going to go to the stupid jail.
Oh gosh.
For bronze? Is that right?
That's where your main HQ is. Your main.
Right, but that's where they were arrested, you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll swing by and pick up Minerva.
Okay. So
And
you
we're also going to bring Hera and Noya, my 2 robot chicks.
okay. So as you you approach the jail, you go inside and there's a guard sitting lazily behind the desk. He's like, "What the hell? Who are you here to see?"
So before I go in, I'm going to disguise Hera and Noya. I'm going to leave them outside.
Okay.
Here, what's this freaking? I can't even think of a good insult for him. What's this maggot kobold's name?
His name is Paul.
Oh, of course, his name is Paul.
Last name Bart.
I'm here to see Paul Kyle, the detective.
Oh, you're talking about. I thought you were asking about the guard. You're asking about the detective.
Yeah,
The detective's name is Gumshoe.
Gumshoe. Yeah, Gumshoe. I'm here to see Gumshoe Kyle.
Gumshoe Kyle 2.0. So
I am the religious and legal support of someone that he falsely arrested, and we're going to be owning this jail because he used illegal tactics, unorthodox, and plain mean. We will not stand for it. And as I do that, and I cross my arms and my boobies jiggle, then we will not stand for this.
We will not stand for this.
You go get him, and I'm going to walk back here in this jail and go see my client.
The guard tells you he says, "Oh, there's several problems with that. The first being that Gumshoe isn't here.
Of course, he would kidnap someone and run away.
Actually, he's actually at the police station, the guard station."
Well, I didn't necessarily mean he had to be right here. You have legs. Go get him.
Well, the police station's across town. I'm on duty.
I'm the legal advice and religious advice of my client. No one's going to get out. Go get him.
He he yells for an intern. Sends the intern to go get Gumshoe.
You are an intern. So before Dick Shoot gets here, I'm gonna go see my client.
You can go see Amy.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Amy.
Okay. Amy's locked up in a cell, and she's like standing, like shaking the bars, like, "This is lame. Let me out."
Amy, did you get locked up for the ganja?
No.
Exactly. That's what you say. You're damn right.
Remember your rights.
You remember well. Saying nothing of these daggum insects. So why didn't you finger gun this guy on the forehead and be done with it?
Well, I was too busy. He had X-ray vision.
What? That's right. So we can also add to the complaints and lawsuits and justifiable death that he was a pervert and was creeping on you. And you're a lady of the cloth, so that makes it even worse.
Yeah, he'll probably get away with it the same way the TSA does it.
All right, so what kind of jail is she in? What kind of bars?
Think your old Western kind of jail. It's not very big.
Is the key
Not
hanging right next to the door?
No, the guard has the key.
Okay. Amy, I want to need you to shapeshift into... Well, you just hold on. I need you to shapeshift into What do I know I put time into researching this Dick Shoe. What do I know about him?
So, you know, sort of the public side of his life. You couldn't really like his private life is a pretty closely guarded secret. He
Well,
hasn't.
right, because he's obviously a dick that people will just go and kill his family.
He started service to the Church of Melina about 15 years ago. Very, very quickly, he rose in the ranks to the point where he kind of, I wouldn't say he's like in charge, but he has a level of authority within the church.
Okay.
He's also known as quite the Billy Badass.
Quite.
Is he married?
Hashtag Storm runs another character Dakota wants dead.
This is three.
legit. Listen,
Three.
with three. Here's the third one. Or second one.
There was one in the second campaign. I can't remember who it was.
I just
There
remember
was
Kyle.
Kyle.
I just remember Kyle.
There was one in the
Kyle was
second campaign that we
Kyle was the villain
successfully
of my
killed. And then there's this one. There was three.
Yeah, there was that NPC that I made
killed.
for your backstory in the first campaign. I remember that now. Anyway, he's unwed, has no children. He's more or less a loose cannon.
Having a wonderful idea.
And he happens to have quite the backing from the church.
I have an even better idea.
Oh no.
I'm hearing crusade and religious genocide.
I turn to Minerva and Amy. Ladies, what is something that these humans cannot stand? Does Amy have any?
Monsters?
Yes, but what's worse than the monster?
A ghost.
A monster fornicating and making babies with a white woman.
Goodbye, Twitch channel.
My Twitch channel, nothing. I'm hearing the dadgum FBI open up, kicking down Dakota's door.
Oh gosh.
Here's what we do. We're gonna get him to conceive a kid with some random white girl. That's somebody important's daughter. And this little problem's gonna sort itself out.
This little problem.
We break from our huddle as I assume he's about to walk in.
You hear the front door open up. It says, Bailiff Paul, what the hell is going on? Church people here to see you, sir. You hear the very solid like thwack, and someone fall into a chair. Shut the hell up! No one asked you. But you just shut the hell up, Paul.
Why am I just picturing the shut up, Mimsy?
Around this time, once I see him, I want to send the signal via Jake, and both my homunculi are going to walk in.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in.
Okay.
They're in there with the guard.
Okay.
Very close. Just a few feet away, around the corner, one would say.
Okay.
So, Dick Shoe, Kyle, what's this?
He pulls out his little notebook and says, the lady of the hour. No.
Yes.
No snappy response.
I guess you just have to count down the hours when you see a lady, since you don't have one of your own. Is this what you do? You arrest a little virgin succubus so you can see a woman and have someone to talk to for more than 2 minutes?
So, as He's sort of eyeing you.
Hitting the nail on the head. You're kind of stuttering there. What?
He's eyeing you, rage in his eyes.
You're eyeing me with your X-ray vision, you pervert. Like what you see? Got a purple bra too. What do you think about that?
Has a little golden glow on his left hand. Says, "Hi, Dreg." And Dreg says,
Dreg will help me if you respond to this piece of shit. Don't acknowledge him.
It's okay. He's weird even to us.
Of course he freaking is. Look at him.
I'm not talking about the kobold. I'm talking about Fafnir.
I forgot he had Fafnir. He said, I forgot he had Fafnir. Gosh damn it. I forgot he had a dragon. He's going to be freaking long game killing. Gosh damn it. What's this shit? Why'd you arrest my people? Why are you kidnapping my people?
He says, "Oh, I'm so glad you asked. We never talked about what was in the superiority juice, so I came up with stuff on the fly." He says,
I based it off the real superiority juice.
This is what I have. Poor prior preparation. We'll retcon it later. So he says,
you know you can't say all of this. Well, I don't know. You can't give too much away.
I don't even know what this shit means. Anyway, neither does Gumshoe. So he says, "So looks like we got here Snakewort, Lizard Flame, and Nightshade, all innocently enough." He fumbles with his notebook and he says, "Actually, contrary to popular belief, I'm not actually the arresting officer. I just did the paperwork. But according to the
Dang, you got cucked out of an arrest.
I've got bigger fish to fry than you, sister."
Minerva just looks over and just gives finger guns. He said sister.
I mean, credit good. I was about to say he got the right term technically.
Technically, yeah. He's like, this is dumb. He says, "So here's," he flips the clipboard or flips his notebook around. And he goes, "So here's the way shit works around here. You've got to have a permit to grow and harvest herbs in the Port of Bronze. It's taxes. It's just taxes. And before you ask, no, it has nothing to do with my salary. That's why I think it's dumb."
So technically, Gumshoe in all this is just the victim because he's having to do paperwork for a stupid case.
Yeah.
No, he's cooperating with that case, so therefore he is indirectly and kind of a little directly encouraging the behavior, because if people at his level and lower would stop enforcing these things, they would go away. If you want to be technical about it, he's just another cog in the machine because he doesn't want to protest it. It's not his problem.
Well, the dude needs money, not to mention it's tax evasion, which is a federal crime.
Actually, it's not. It's not really. It's
not tax evasion at all.
It's a technicality. Anyway.
Objection! This is unconstitutional under the Sophia's Rights Act.
We don't. We're a monarchy. We don't have a constitution. If anything, we're technically a theocracy.
Your mortal laws don't apply to me or my people.
They apply to you while you're in the material plane, yes.
You're not going to be in it for much longer with this bullshit, Dick Shoe. Who's the arresting officer?
Was
it Paul?
No, it wasn't Paul. thumbs through his notebook. Actually, the guy's name is. His name is Stan.
Stan what?
Stan Doyle.
And he's just a guard of the city?
He looks at you, but looks around, and leans into you. Look, let's agree on something here real quick. If something were to happen to Stan, there's not a whole lot of people that would really be upset about that.
Well, I certainly wouldn't be. That's why I want his name.
He laughs. Yeah, don't tell me. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. So, I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and get the release paperwork working. And do us both a favor. I was waiting for a response, but
Okay. It's kind of okay.
Do us both a favor. It's not so much the herbs that got your sister. Is she a nun? I'm gonna assume she's a nun. Anyway, that's semantics.
Hard.
It wasn't so much the herbs themselves that got your friend in hot water. It was the combination of them.
What do you mean? And I'm sorry, Gumshoe? That's his name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, here's a little bit of alchemical knowledge for you. You take nightshade and you mix it with snakewort. It makes it makes a very super fast acting neurotoxin.
But nightshade is great for detoxing people at my church.
Well, that might be true, but people get a little nervous when you start having nightshade and snakewort next to each other. Granted, I don't expect you or any of your associates to have the necessary knowledge to make the poison, simply because I understand that it's quite the alchemical feat. But on the off chance that someone is and doesn't have a license, and then the alchemy and then the other tax stuff, it just, yeah.
So are you proposing a you help me, I help you relationship in this city?
No, I'm telling you a workaround that'll keep you from
further harassment,
more trouble, and you might just deal with a problem of mine.
Well, that's exactly what I described, but
listen. When you've been in the system as long as I have, it's not about what you say; it's how you say
it. Just ignore any posting in the Discord that it apparently didn't post.
Good.
I don't know what's going on with it. It might decide to post it twice here in a second. I do not know.
Drag rights.
Okay, well, what do you need? Gumshoe Kyle.
Gumshoe Kyle. When you go have a word with our friend Stan.
Stan, the man with the master plan.
Just he gives you a wink and says, just make sure that he's off the force. As he turns and walks away.
Does Stan have a family?
Gumshoe stops. He's got an abused lover.
Any bastard children?
2, boy and a girl. If I were you, I'd make the wife do it and pin it on him or pin it on her.
It's an idea. So, just for my reference, how big is the population in Port-au-Prince? And along with that question, is there a federal level, or is there just city-states?
So it's the way the government system of the world works is that the cities themselves are effectively city-states, but the Church of Melina has more or less taken over at the federal level to enforce the crown. Melina and Luna they're not opposing forces. They don't vie for the same domains. Like the Church of Luna does its own thing. If you want to break it down like a list, think of Mooncrown as like the District of Columbia. Like the Church of Luna has its own sovereign entity, basically.
Okay.
In Mooncrown it is. So their authority supersedes the other church's authority, but Melina's church has effective federal authority in all the other cities.
Why do you want him off the force?
He looks you straight in the eye and says, because he's a piece of shit.
Well, that's all. I could fix that.
He laughs and says, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can solve all kinds of problems, like the one we had with the Thieves Guild.
Well, someone has to be the law enforcement in this city.
He just laughs, turns, and walks away.
All right. As he starts to walk away, I signal for my 2 homunculi to go back outside.
Okay.
I'm going to quickly follow him outside.
Okay.
I think it's a range of touch is why I followed him outside. I'm going to touch both the homunculi women, give them a Jake, and follow him.
Are you going to make them invisible, or?
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm asking, what did you cast on them?
Cast levitate on them.
Oh, okay.
I'm casting invisibility on one, and I'm going to cast levitate on the other.
Okay.
One's going to use Jake as a propeller.
Okay.
Follow him. Anything you find, report back to me via Jake. Don't die. Find out where he lives. Find out where he sleeps. Find out where he drinks, eats. Any friends he has, you find out everything.
The long game spy mission.
All right, Minerva, let's go get Amy out of jail. So, Amy.
It's like, yeah.
Why didn't you just transform into something and fly away?
That makes too much sense.
I'll tell you what, next time you're out picking things, you bring Bartholomew with you.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
And for the love of everything, shapeshift yourself into a guard. Okay, dear.
Okay.
So the 3 of us walk out. So Paul. Yes, I did.
That's a name I haven't heard in ages.
Paul.
So Paul, you seem to be a nice loyal guard.
And he sort of, his nose is broken. He's bleeding. He's like readjusting his jaw. He's like, yeah. The detective paid the bail and the ticket, so here's the key. You can get her out.
Yeah, she's already out, but okay. So, Paul, do you have a family?
I don't like this line of questioning as he like resets his nose.
Oh, let me help with that. Does he allow me to try to help?
He looks at you suspiciously, but yes.
So as I put my hand up like I want to reset his nose, put one hand up there. I look him dead in the eyes. I grab his hand, or sorry, his nose in my hand. Next time, you will listen when I tell you something. Do you understand? That's not.
He's scared of you.
Well, that's fine. You can have a heart on and piss yourself at the same time if you like. Do you understand?
Boobies.
He's like, yeah.
You. No, I'm not going to ask that. I successfully reset his nose. I'll walk out.
All right. So while we're waiting on a report back from your homunculi people, Brian, it's your turn.
All right, let's do this.
So as you walk back to the tavern to go back to whatever room you were staying in, and as you open the door, you find yourself in the office of the outsider.
Oh wow, that was fast.
He's like, Sheen, there you are. I've been meaning to talk to you. He's like writing in a book. This quill, this top hat.
What did you want to talk about, sir?
So, I understand your goal is godhood.
You are correct.
Outstanding. So, here is your best case scenario. You have 2 courses of action. So, your first course of action, the boring one, is to... I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this. Is to gather a large following. Hundreds of thousands of people that throw themselves at your feet and worship the ground that you walk on.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yes. And even then, you'll have to get another god to endorse you.
Well, all right, I don't suppose you're game for that.
Do you know how much I would have to give? He's like, do you think I'm a god?
You're definitely more powerful than me.
Do you know how much I would have to give up to simply be a god?
Nope, no idea.
It says it'll probably remain that way for the rest of eternity. So for a frame of reference, I don't know how much or how well you're versed in the Cthulhu mythos, but the outsider he's a great old one.
Oh.
Something akin to a great old one.
Okay.
He's more powerful than an elder thing, but he's not quite an elder god.
So he's kind of like a demigod.
Which makes sense. Demigods are actually more likely to be able to interact with humans than, actual gods.
Well, when I say that he's a great old one, he is like beyond what the mortal comprehension of a god is. As far as like his power level, he's ascended beyond. He's far beyond godhood.
Oh my!
Yes. Like the fact that you can stand in his presence and not be crushed is very good self-control on his part.
So he's like a primordial.
Kinda. I think those are more elder things, but I digress. He says, and he tells you, and then there's the second option, the fun option.
All right, let's hear the second option.
Go forth and find a man by the name of Darius Dreamwalker.
Can you spell that?
Yes. I'm so glad I typed this up, because I'm horrible at spelling. Darius, Darris, and then Dreamwalker is one word.
Oh, gotcha. Dreamwalker. All right. But what should with him? Should I steal his soul?
No, you need to learn how to walk in your dreams from someone who is literally his entire life is dedicated to walking in dreams. That suits his name.
Learn to dreamwalk. I'm taking out a notepad and writing this down.
Okay.
All right. Do you know where Darius Dreamwalker can be found?
The Dreamwalker can be found. Oh, don't get away from me, mouse. The Dreamwalker lives within the Black Eye Swamp.
The whoa? The Black Eye Swamp. That sounds fun.
Yes, Black Eye Swamp.
Can I have a description of this Darius Dreamwalker? Is he human, elf? How does he dress? What's his religious preference, sexual preference? Is he married?
So, Darius is a lizard folk.
Aha! Lizard folk.
And think of like your usual like shaman type of person.
Should I bring crickets? Does he like crickets?
The outsider hands you a bag of salted caramel crickets.
Oh, some sauce.
And he says, I wouldn't worry too much about looking for him, though. You're about to meet him very quickly.
Oh. Well, thank you.
As you pick up the bag of peanut, or the bag of salted caramel crickets, and he says, oh, by the way, mind the fall. And he snaps, and a portal opens up beneath you, and you fall like 30 feet. And onto the ground, right in front of a rather large lizard folk, who is now very startled by your presence.
I'm like, well, hello there, Darius. It's a pleasure to meet you.
What in the hell? You look around and you're in like the heart of the bayou.
I have friends in very high, low, mid, everywhere places. And they sent me here to you.
He sees the mark on your hand. He goes, ah, you work for the outsider.
You are correct.
Very few mortal men know the existence of the outsider.
Yes.
Even fewer meet the man in person.
I've met him several times. He's actually not a bad person.
Just because someone's a bad guy doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
I know what you mean. So listen, I hear from reliable sources that you are the forefront authority on dreamwalking. And I was just wondering, what would a person have to do to learn how to walk in the dreamland?
Oh, Lord have mercy. So you're kind of on like a dock, or rather a wooden pathway that goes through the swamp. And he like sits down with a thud as he crosses his legs and says, well, walking in your dreams isn't the hard part. Being deemed worthy by the Stair Guardians is.
The Stair Guardians. Do tell, what are the Stair Guardians?
The Stair Guardians, they kind of look like Anubis.
So this metagame here, is that Stair Guardians like stairs you walk up, or Stair Guardians in those who stare?
Stairs as in stairs you walk up.
Okay, gotcha.
The Stair Guardians will determine if you are worthy to enter the Dreamlands.
Must be deemed worthy. And when you know what they look for to be deemed worthy? Do I have to kill them?
He shrugs his shoulders and says, I don't know. I've never personally been to the Dreamlands.
Really?
I've jumped
That's
through.
amazing.
I've jumped through dream space. I've seen the stairs that lead to the Dreamlands. But legend has it that the Dreamlands are a very terrifying and dangerous alien place.
I've been to hell and back.
How many
Literally.
people can say that? Straight face.
Phrasing, Joel, phrasing. Okay, I think your message finally sent through. That's hilarious. All right. So, over the course of a few nights, he eventually teaches you how to dream lucidly.
Huh.
A difficult concept, but it's still very not something you're born with the innate ability to do.
Dream
Lucid dreaming?
Constant control of your dreams.
Yes. So, as you wander around your own dreamscape, you come to realize that there is an edge to your dream. As you sort of hit like an invisible Elder Scrolls-esque wall.
I have a feeling that this is not a natural wall.
Probably not. Maybe
Almost a godlike boundary has been created in which to cage me within the dreamscape.
So, fortunately, while you're dreaming lucidly, Catarphus is still there with you.
Oh, well, hello, Catarphus. How are you doing?
And he's actually, instead of taking on the form of like his normal gauntlet form, he is now a small dragon sprite that sits on your shoulder.
That's what I was going to say. Is if I can control the dreams, I was going to give him actually like a manifestation other than a cloak.
He's a small. It looks very. If he were larger, he would be very imposing. But he's like a super tiny ancient dragon.
And if I can, I want him to allow to use somewhat a little bit of his breath weapon too.
Okay, sure. Okay. It's your dream currently.
Yeah.
So, you and Catarphus are walking through like a very scenic garden.
So, hey, Catarphus, how does it feel to be able to stretch your wings a little bit again? I bet it feels nice.
It's quite the experience after several thousand years, or yes, a couple thousand years.
Do you remember how to fly anymore?
I'm not sure how gravity works in this world, so I'm quite satisfied over here on this shoulder.
Well, the beautiful thing about being controller is it works how I want it to work. I can make it like, back on what continent is this again? Tamriel?
Creston.
Creston, there we go. Yeah, I basically would make it equivalent to Creston because that's what I'm used to currently. But once I've attained godhood, it shall be quite chaotic, I assure you.
So, he flies up in the air and starts to look around. And he comes back and he tells you, travel northward, or what passes for northward in the dream realm, I suppose. There appears to be an opening in this godforsaken wall.
Really? Can you describe this opening as I start to walk northward toward the opening?
Looks like literally, imagine like a Looney Tunes hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the Roadrunner where the Wile E. Coyote throws like, or Roadrunner paints a hole or something like that.
Yeah, the black hole.
Yeah, like portals. There you go, portals.
Yes.
Gotcha. I'm tracking.
So, as you approach the hole, and it's literally as black as the void. Like you can't see anything through it. But if you stick your arm in there, there's clearly like something on the other side, but it's like a black hole that you can't see through.
I'm going to send Dream Catarphus through this hole. Can he communicate to me through the other side?
So Catarphus like sits himself on the edge of the hole, and he looks around, and he's like, "Oh, this is weird."
What is it? Do tell.
Pokes his head back out from the other side. We're in that's the way to another dream.
Really? Huh. So we have learned to infiltrate others' dreams.
Fortunately, the lizard man told you that if you die in this dreamscape,
yeah,
you just wake up and like you've had a really bad nightmare.
Oh, well, that's all right. I jumped through.
Okay. So you find yourself in the dream. Well, in this dream is a battlefield.
Awesome.
There's dragons flying in the sky. There's men being murdered to death. And there's oddly a lot more ancient dragons than what you think exists in the world.
Can I make like a history check to see if I recognize any sort of time frame or recollection of this sort of era?
Yes.
Or anything from... Awesome. All right. Let's do that. Oh, come on, man. Currently experiencing technical difficulties.
Ever since the damn bot changes, it's all we've been getting is technical difficulties. But Avery works fine on Shane's server, and it still uses the exclamation point. So I really have no explanation as for why they changed Dice Made in the way that they did.
Oh, come on.
Well, the good news is that it doesn't. I forgot the boon I gave you. Totally forgot the boon I gave you. I am a buffoon. You recognize this pretty clearly as the battlefield of the Third Great Dragon War, just south of Golden Horizon.
So then one could deduce that I am in the dreams of a very old person.
Well, the last Great Dragon War happened approximately 20 to 30 years ago.
Okay. So not that old.
Actually, it's probably closer. It's about 30 years ago. But yeah. Yes. Pretty recent history. Not very hard to pick up.
Huh. Am I still in control of anything, or am I now out of control of this dream?
You are not in control of the dream because this is not your dream.
That's what I figured.
But you see over this long stretch of battlefield another little black hole.
Really? Well, here's an interesting hypothetical question now. Is Catharsis still a dragon spirit, or is he now just a disembodied cloak?
He's still a dragon. He's still sitting on your shoulder.
Okay. Good on you, Catharsis. So I'm going to head on over to that new black hole. Unless I see anything interesting. Do I see anything interesting that piques my curiosity within this battlefield, other than the fact that there's a lot of ancient dragons that I would probably rather avoid?
Well, the good news is they're all flying and fighting in the sky.
Okay.
But you'll have to haphazardly make your way across the battlefield.
Well, I'm gonna cast Pass the Trace.
Okay.
And sneak across the battlefield.
So, one thing that you definitely notice about the scene, you're not really sure whose dream this is. It could be anyone on the continent, but you notice that there appear to be dragons fighting each other. Now,
Right.
you're not entirely certain what transpired in the third Great Dragon War.
But do I notice what kind of dragons there are?
How many there are?
No, what kind? Like like bronze dragons, copper dragons, green dragons, blue dragons, red dragons, black dragons. Are they all kinds of dragons? Is there any particular two factions of dragons, or are they just like numerous different variations of dragons?
So there's 20 dragons in the sky in total right now.
Correct.
And at a glance, it appears that there's 2 of each fighting their respective clone, basically. But
when you say clone, I picture them fighting themselves.
well,
Kind of like a dragon civil war, or more like two factions of different dragons fighting each other.
the thing you notice about one half of the dragons is that they appear to be more. The scales themselves look more like armor than they do actual scales.
Huh, that's pretty cool. Dragon barding.
Guitarvist looks up at the ongoing chaos and he goes, I remember this.
What can you tell me about this, Guitarfist? Do tell.
This was the first push into Golden Horizon.
Oh, this is you. This is
No.
your dragons, isn't it? Because I recollect somebody mentioning that you were the only one that ever infiltrated Golden Horizon.
No, this is definitely the third Great Dragon War. He points at the 2 copper dragons just duking it out.
But are these your minions from history?
Hold on, I'm looking for names that I wasn't prepared with because I'm a fool. I think it's. No, that's not it. I got my notes split. Pictures of cat. There it is. Okay, Katarvis says, he looks up and he says, that's my former host and the Dillis, the young one, fighting up there.
Huh. Medellus? Did they say Medellus, the young one?
Vodillis.
Bodilus. How exotic. Well, Katarfist, I just wanted to say, by the way, I was pretty proud whenever I learned that you were the only dragon to actually infiltrate the Golden Horizon.
Really, it was. Fafnir was strong, but he's not nearly as skilled as the new one is, Janad. I doubt the same dirty tricks would work on him like it did Fafnir.
Well,
He
that's why I come up with new dirty tricks. Ain't that right, Katarfist? I chuckle maniacally. Anyways,
he says that, he tells you that power up there, each Dragon Lord has it, or each one of you, Geralt, Iona, and yourself all have the potential to do that. Transform into dragons yourselves, take on the form of what we were.
really?
Iona throws up on Paul just by hearing a disturbance in the universe.
Just feel it.
Transform into a dragon. Now that sounds interesting. We must talk more upon this later, the details of how to transform into a dragon.
He tells you that out of the 3 of you, that Geralt is currently the closest.
Huh.
Heck
Well.
yeah.
Go Geralt.
Go Geralt, go Geralt, go.
It's your birthday.
You'll get creepy Vicky eventually.
So you make your way through the second portal, and you find yourself. You find yourself in a jungle.
Ah, jungles.
Yes.
Do I recognize this jungle at all?
No, this is a completely alien place to you.
Completely alien. Is it very? I'm guessing it's very humid, then, isn't it?
Based on your perception, yes. It's rather unpleasant.
I know nothing about this. So what you're saying is it's very alien. I know nothing about this place I'm currently in at all.
No, you're probably in someone's dream that is very far away.
Hey, Catarphus, do you know anything about this place?
He says, I've been around a long time. I can't say that I've ever really seen a jungle.
Are there other trees themselves like alien to me? Like I don't even know what kind of tree this is. Fine shrubberies.
Imagine yourself in the jungle biomes of Minecraft.
Okay, so I'm gonna harvest cocoa beans.
Keep them in your dreams. So as you meander around through the forest, ducking under trees and avoiding strange wildlife, you jump over a overgrown tree root and fall into yet another hole and find yourself at the bottom of a golden staircase.
A golden staircase.
Yes.
At the bottom of it. They're just a nondescript golden staircase, solid gold, smooth, flat, no rooms, no nothing, no.
The room is devoid of, or rather, your surrounding area is devoid, like black. The
So
only thing
you could say it's a void with only a golden staircase. So I am in the void. Is my character aware of this fact that he's in the void, or
you're not technically in the void? You're still in the dreamlands, but you find yourself in a definitely strange dream, if not a different location.
So you say the void, it's more like a pocket plane with just a staircase in it made of gold.
Kinda.
Well, shit. Give me a second on this. I mean, more than likely, I'm gonna walk up the staircase. That seems like the obvious decision at this point, but sometimes obvious decisions can be a trap.
I would never do such a thing.
No.
I definitely didn't play the mommy card on Geralt.
Well, I guess I'm gonna walk up the staircase.
As you walk up the staircase, two figures appear out of nowhere, halfway up.
No, really? Do they appear humanoid in shape, or do they appear aberration?
They are.
Does one look like a stack of power?
They're humanoid from the neck down, but they have very, very well detailed dog heads.
Huh. This almost sounds like a staircase into the underworld.
And Katarva's still on your shoulder, says, I think these are the judges that the lizard man was talking about.
Huh. With dog heads. What kind of dogs are they? Saint Bernard or like pit bull? For reference, Doberman Pinscher.
Think Anubis.
Ancient, as I said, ancient Egyptian Anubis dog heads.
Yes.
Awesome.
Anubis. They hold up golden scales as they stare at you intently, not saying a word.
I'm gonna ask them if they like candied crickets.
Guitar, they don't respond. They don't react. Travis leans into your ear. What do you think they're judging?
Well, obviously my worthiness, but here I have this whole bag of candy crickets that I never got a chance to give to the lizard folk guys, so I'm kind of getting tired of carrying it.
Travis is like, you're in a dream.
Well, then I have no control over this, though, right?
Presently?
Can I change the candy crickets to candy dog bones?
Sure.
Okay, then that's what I want to do is make them candied milk bones. No, take that back. I want to make them what the hell are those things called? Begging strips, because dogs love begging strips.
As you transform the bag of crickets into begging bits before the eyes of the Anubai.
I come bearing gifts.
The scales tip to one side and they disappear as you look up the staircase and see that the pathway is now clear.
I shall keep walking up the stairway.
As you continue, as you reach the top of the stairway, you find a door.
Huh. Can you describe this door to me? Is it like just a nondescript mahogany door, or is it like a?
It's like a oak tavern door.
Oh, interesting. I'm going to knock on the door.
There's no answer.
Is there a doorknob on the door?
Yes, there's a doorknob.
I am going to turn the doorknob and attempt to open the door.
So you open the door, and you find that there's a tavern on the other side of the door.
I like taverns. Do I see people in this tavern, or is the tavern empty?
There's people in the tavern.
What kind of people? Are they dog-headed people, or just people?
People. Mostly humans.
Mostly humans. What's the other races other than humans? Halflings?
Dwarves, elves, a halfling or two.
Very interesting. Huh. Is there a tavern barkeep in this tavern?
Yes.
I'm going to walk up to the tavern barkeep and ask him, where the hell am I?
So, as you walk through the door, you feel your bare feet land on cold hardwood.
Cold hardwood?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting because most taverns have a fireplace. Is there a fireplace in this tavern?
Not presently. Not one that's lit.
Wait, what? There's not a fireplace when it's lit?
No, there's a fire. There's a place for the fireplace, but the fireplace isn't a roaring blaze. Fire is currently out.
Oh.
You realize that Katarvis has grown quite a bit and is now a medium-sized dragon. And he looks at you and says, Shannon, what the hell happened to your clothes, man?
I look at my clothes. What's wrong with my clothes?
You're currently standing in the middle of a tavern with no clothes on.
What the hell did you do to my clothes, Katarvis?
I did not. It wasn't me, dog.
I'm going to attempt to just cast my mask of many faces to at least make the appearance of clothes.
The barkeep looks at you and says, we got a new guy. Get him some pants.
Yes, pants would be great. I like pants.
All right, we'll pick up with the explanations after a break with Clay. Clay.
Huh?
Okay. So we're back in the ring.
All right.
Well, actually, we're going to pick it up post-fight. For such a large band, he moves unnecessarily fast.
Well, gee, he was wearing like a 20-ton weight.
Insanely fast. You are down and on the ground before you even realize it.
Shio's gonna look up at the ceiling, slightly dumbfounded on how she got there. As she then slowly looks down to the large mastodon of a man and says, I believe I understand now why he pointed me to you for training.
That might have something to do with it, yeah. I can't do an Australian accent. Just can't do it. We'll work on it.
Oi, mate. What you got down under?
Shio stands back to her feet. I believe I have a long way to go before I would ever be able to handle you. Then again, with that weight you were carrying, it doesn't surprise me.
I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two.
Couldn't surprise me, Twinkle Toes. You can move faster than anyone I've ever seen.
He just kind of shrugs.
No response to the Twinkle Toes comment.
Nah, he's not going to grace that with. He's not going to grace that with comment. So you hang out and train with him for a little bit, and I'm going to try to pace this a little bit faster because we're almost at 2:00. So you train with him for a little bit, and you kind of have an agreement that he'll teach you a thing or two, and you head off to the village that the kobolds that ran out of the mountain told you to go visit, and you enter the village, and everyone is wearing black robes, very creepy, very culty. You speak.
Very people about to get stabby.
He tells you that he would like to place an order, like for food.
What do you seem to be hungry for, good sir?
He tells you that his village is in dire need of the world's largest crab ragoon.
Yummy.
All right, boys, I'm leaving.
Shio hears that, rolls her neck for a second before reaching up and popping her neck. Like, do you have the supplies for it?
He sort of like motions around, or he takes you to the kitchen and motions around. He's like, can you do it?
It's not a matter of can. It's how long are you guys willing to wait for perfection?
Take as much time as you need.
I'll have it done as soon as possible.
So you make a crab ragoon that's about the size of a sedan.
I'm not even going to go small size sedan. I'm going full size sedan.
And all of these strange culty people come up and pick it up from the plate, or pick up the plate that's under it, and take it out to the lake on the edge of the village. And I'm going to assume out of pure curiosity you follow them.
Of course. I would like to know who would be enjoying my meal.
So the entire village gathers around the lake and starts chanting, Great Lagoon, Crab Ragoon. And as their chant increases in volume, the river, or the lake itself, starts to tremble, and the ground shakes. And slowly but surely, a large bluish blob comes out of the lake and stands up on tentacles, then immediately throws on a top hat, a monocle, and props itself up on a cane.
You know, sometimes you gotta ask yourself, what were you expecting today? This was definitely not one of them.
So, as the large blue blob tentacle thing reaches out and picks up this crab ragoon and begins to munch on it, the villagers, or a few of the villagers, stand on the plate and begin swearing at each other and slapping each other. Like, not like trying to cause a lot of physical harm, they're just slapping each other around as they swear incessantly. It sounds like a sailor's bar fight.
Theo's gonna look in pure dumbfounded curiosity.
So, as as this monstrosity finishes its crab ragoon, it laughs and claps its tentacles together and says, "Jolly good show, lads! Jolly good show!"
She was gonna kind of place her sword while it's in the scabbard on the ground and kind of lean against it and just curiously watching.
Tell me, gents, who made this delicious ragoon? They all point at you.
Shio stands at attention and respect.
So it's very obvious that you were dealing with an aboleth.
Dang, that's a term I haven't heard in ages.
The aboleth beckons you over.
Shio picks up the sword, putting the scabbard and everything back on her back as she walks forward.
Appreciate your service.
Of course. My duty is to the people. It is a chef's code, anyways, to serve.
Tell me, Miss Chef, what is your dream? What is your goal?
She thinks for a second. To be honest, it's the same goal I've always had. The same restaurant I've opened for, I'd like to expand for all to enjoy the meal. A sense of unity, in a sense. Maybe for once to see peace in the world. A world that I once used to have that. I wish to bring it to this world.
The aboleth straightens his monocle. Quite the noble sort, spirit soul thing, aren't you?
It's just how I was raised, I suppose.
You can sort of like feel its presence. Like it's
an aboleth. That thing has an aura that if it wants you dead, you know it wants you dead.
it finds you rather fascinating. And he says, "Well, I'll tell you what, mate. What is it that you presently seek? Think short-term goals."
Short-term goals. Well, the restaurant I have currently is, as I would say, horribly understaffed. I'm literally the only worker there. So I suppose some staff to help with stocking, supplying food, maybe even running it. It's a short goal as it stands, but a goal nonetheless.
The aboleth nods the closest thing it has to a head. Well, he looks to all of his villagers and says, "I'll make you a deal then. I'll send some of my people your way, as long as you can make me some of that succulent ragoon."
I'll tell you what. Next time I'll throw in a dipping sauce to go with it.
Ah, you are a sight. The deal is struck, gents. Great Lagoon. Crab Ragoon.
Brian's was the dream world, but Clay's was a drug trip.
No, I basically just got a bunch of cultists that worships an aboleth to supply my restaurant with food, work it, and help me repair it. All for just feeding an aboleth a giant crab ragoon.
The most random thing I've ever heard in my life. Is this Abby's brother?
I feel like they're kind of like the pasta berries, except for they say they worship pasta, they worship crab ragoon.
You're talking about the Dengum cult that worships the flying spaghetti monster, aren't you?
Oh gosh.
And I can't believe I just brought that up and said that out of my mouth. Excuse me a second while I go Ralph.
Okay. You've struck in a deal with Great Lagoon. Nathan, are you still awake?
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I just want you to know, Storm, I'm gonna have crab ragoon stuck in my head for days now.
I did too. It came to me in a dream, believe it or not.
That was like a really fucked up dream.
It was. Like, I can remember, like, the shoreline for where Clay just was with very vivid, like, detail. Anyway, Nathan, what is Geralt's next move? What does he want to do?
I guess he needs to go to that river, doesn't he?
You're going to go to...
There was only 2 places on the map.
Are you going to... Well, what I'm asking is are you going to go, like... Well, those... She gave you those as... Not that I'm trying to dissuade you, but...
Eventual things. Like, I don't have to have them to... It's not prevalent information right now.
Well, I wasn't sure if you wanted to go, like, confront the Church of Riser and be like, what the hell are you doing? Or if you wanted to go...
Yeah, I thought the river would have something pertaining to that situation that was important.
Well, that's the river, the fortress on the river is where they plan on laying siege.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go there.
We go to the fortress.
Yes.
Just a little side question, Storm. Was that the Kobold quest or something else?
That was the Kobold quest.
Oh. So I knocked out 2 stones in one go. Nice.
Yes. So, you march towards the fortress. I don't have the fortress mapped out, but I don't think it's going to be very relevant in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
When you finally reach when you get close enough to the gates, you can see there's men on the battlements. Are you just gonna walk up and be like, "Hey, I'm down here," or?
Had to put my computer down to check on the baby, and then someone sent me a message. Is it Riser people?
No, this is Lunar Order people.
I'm gonna let them know I came in peace.
Okay. So you walk up towards the gate with your hands up, like, I'm not here to try to fight. And they they're for their own precautionary security. You've got crossbows on you, and they yell, "What do you want? Who are you? What do you want?" So, just for reference, your mother told you about a knight of their order named Derek.
Yes. Derek with the G.
Yes.
Oh, is that it? That's what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
I've come to... He was a bad guy. He was responsible, wasn't he?
Derek was saved by this is actually some information that I might have forgotten about earlier, but they found him wounded in the woods.
Yes.
And brought him back to the village, nursed him back to health, and then he left, and then Riser came through. the piece I think I might have left out is, actually, I'm not sure if that's entirely relevant. Well, it is, but Derek and some of his people came back after or during the fighting and got your mother out.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
that's an important piece of information I forgot to mention earlier.
Yes,
but
okay. I'm here to see Derek.
they look down on you and they're like, "What business have you with the abbot?"
I've been told by, I don't even know Mom's name. What do I know? What her name was?
I'm trying to think of a good hobgoblin name instead of something generic that I always go for.
Geraldine.
Sure, Geraldine.
Lena.
Big Fang draws a lot.
What I liked Brian's the best. What was
Big Fang draws a lot.
Big Fang draws a lot, which in the common tongue is Geraldine.
They look at each other, and these are hulking masses of men.
Yeah.
Okay. But
they use crossbows like pussies.
It's hard to make out in the. It's kind of gotten later in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really make out details of their face. But it appears as though they've got muzzles on.
Okay.
So, behind one of the men with a crossbow, a rather imposing figure. He's definitely smaller than the people around him. Like he's a little bit more slender, but he's by no means small.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks down upon you, and he says, "'Tis I, Abbot Derrig."
You're
And what?
Yeah, go ahead.
What news does Geraldine bring?
She brings no news. I am her son, I suppose, and she said you would have answers.
He pulls a spyglass out of his pocket, like zooms in on you. He lowers the spyglass and slaps the man next to him on the shoulder and says, "The hell are you doing? Let the man in!" As you hear the cracking and gears turning as the gate rolls up very slowly. Derek himself welcomes you into the fortress.
Heck yeah.
From your observing, most of them are either drow or human, but they all have a few things in common. They don't have normal human noses or elf noses.
Uh-huh.
They all have dog noses, like wolf noses. They don't have a muzzle, it's just a dog nose in the middle of their face.
Like Anubis?
No, not like Anubis. Like imagine your nose is gone and put the dog's nose right there.
Okay, so it's not like plastic. This isn't a uniform. This is their actual nose.
Yes.
That's freaking weird.
And some of the younger ones around them have, other than that, most of their features are human, except for their eyes. Their eyes glow a very pumpkiny orange. Some of the younger ones have muzzles on their face, large, jagged teeth.
So you're telling me I'm dealing with a bunch of pumpkin spice schnauzers?
I'm telling you, you're dealing with a faction of werewolves.
Nice.
Pumpkin spice werewolves.
Sure brought some meat bones, Geralt.
They're a lot more imposing in my head, but
This is what you just said, pumpkin orange. You don't say pumpkin orange for anything that's imposing.
But on the other hand, you are talking to a hobgoblin that knocked out a dragon, so.
Hey.
Also a fair statement.
Hey. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move this along. What's he gonna say?
Derek shakes your hand and says, "I thought you'd be dead."
Who are you?
Derek. You're talking to Derek.
No, I know who he is, but I don't like who is he to me?
Oh. Who is he to you?
Yeah,
I mean, you're clearly not related, if that's what you're.
No, I know that. I know that. Just like, dude, it's been 30 years. You think I care about you?
He tells you that he tells you what you really already know is that he's both the cause and the reason that your village was attacked, and that the only person that he and his friends were, or rather his brothers were able to get out, was your mother, who stayed with them for quite some time, and before she departed to go on her own.
So, why did Ryza come after you?
He turns away from you and looks to like all the people, all the werewolf people in the fortress and around him. And presently, like the standing force in front of you is about 20 strong. And he turns back and looks at you and he says, "What do you know about the Church of Luna?"
They worship Luna? I
He
know
says,
Geralt probably knows a whole lot more than that, but I don't. I'm sorry.
"You're okay." He says, "Aye, they do. But the dancers and the civil servants you see in the streets of Mooncrown, they're the dancers. They're Luna's arm. We are her sword."
So, you work for the dancers?
No, we're a separate entity away from the dancers.
I was fixed to say, that'd be weird. Working for a bunch of dancing pansies.
He tells you that first he leans in. He says, "I find it awful strange, a man like you wearing, or a man. Well, you probably didn't know. I'm sure if you did know, I'm not sure how you would feel about your holy symbol that you wear." So he points to the flames of Riser.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can't change the past, so, yeah.
He tells you, he invites you in. He tells you, "We were just about," he says, "albeit from us to kill someone for what they believe or for what they are." As he like sniffs the air and says, "Be damned if you don't smell of brimstone and fire."
I like sniff my armpits curiously. Maybe.
He tells you that the reason that they attacked was because of what they are, because he's a sodding monster. As far as Geralt's, or not Geralt, as far as Riser's people are concerned, they might not be undead, but they're still monsters.
Well, that's not the teachings of Ryza. Ryza believes that the flame is supposed to warm those around us, supposed to bring us together, and keep those abominations away.
He looks at you and smiles and says, "The abomination of undeath is a mutual thing. I couldn't agree more. I've lost more brothers to sentient undead than I care to count. But the fact still remains. There's people in Riser's church that would see anything that isn't humanoid destroyed.
Do you have a name?
A name?
Yes.
The commander of that army?
Oh, you mean like the head honcho? Like the tip top dog? I mean, I shouldn't say dog. That's probably offensive to the people, but
Um, what are you asking for? The name of who exactly?
like when you say commander of that army, do you mean like the leader of all of Razor's forces?
No, I mean the leader of the forces that are approaching the fortress.
Oh, okay, that are coming right now. Oh, okay. So he's still kicking?
The man himself that ordered the first attack?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well, we'll change that. Okay.
he invites you in, like he's like, I understand what you are, but perhaps you would like to broaden your horizons.
I mean, no, not really, but I mean, we can talk. I got no problem with you.
He says, well, we have a sacrament tonight before the dawn breaks.
A sacrament? Like you're gonna sacrifice a chicken or something? What do you...
No, a sacrament, a religious service.
Oh, okay. Okay. So to like a riser believer, it's sacrilege.
Probably.
Okay. Sounds
He
good.
he motions for you to follow him to you're in this fortress. There's a library directly in front of you from the gate, and off to the right is a cathedral, and next to the library is a small barracks, and then behind the barracks is an armory. So he motions for you to follow him through the trail that cuts between the library and the cathedral, and that path leads up to a bridge. It's not really. It's like the beginnings of a bridge,
Uh-huh.
and it just cuts off. And at the end of that bridge, the drop off leads down into a river.
A really big fortress.
Yes.
Okay.
And as you're walking, he explains that those of us that are part of the Lunar Order are not recruited, we're born. Werewolves have a relationship to the moon, as I'm sure you're aware, and we are what you would consider to be half-breded between man and werewolves.
You can do that? That's pretty weird.
It is.
Does that
That's
mean
intended.
like you got to do that at like a certain time of the moon? Then you got to like, you know, make sure the angle's just right, and that's weird. That
He
sounds.
says.
Go ahead.
He says it's very uncommon. Yes, that's why there's only maybe 100 of us strong.
Well, sorry about that, but I can't do the voice. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
So
Poor Dakota.
how are you going to defend off this army?
He tells you as best we can.
Well,
The fortress of the moon is nigh impregnable, but unfortunately, we lose a good man tonight.
who we losing? Wait, what? Is this a sacrilege thing?
No.
Okay.
Eventually, what happens to us is that eventually we become overcome with
Oh,
beasthood, and 'tis better to die a man than live as a monster.
I gotcha. Okay. Oh no. Is there not a cure?
He solemnly shakes his head. He says, "No, this is a fate. This sacrament is a fate that awaits all of us."
pretty brutal, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
So as you reach the precipice of the hill that leads up into the bridge, there are several brothers gathered around, and there's women amongst their number that look like nuns, like
Oh no.
sisters, and they are this man. They're tying him to a half crescent moon that's being suspended by effectively a crane and a boom arm, and he's a lot farther gone than anyone you've seen thus far. His eyes much more monstrous, his fangs much more jagged, his breathing is labored. He's started to develop, his ears have started to turn into that of a werewolf or into an actual wolf. It's hard to tell from this angle, but it appears as though he has a tail. And the abbot walks to the bridge and to the man who is now being suspended by a rope from like he's got his arms, his hands over his head. He's just dangling from this half crescent moon, or from this crescent moon. And the hanging man, says that 'tis better to die a man than lives a beast. And the abbot simply says, "Amen," as he draws his sword and stabs the man through the heart, pulls the sword out, and cuts the rope as the body falls into the river.
Okay.
Why was I expecting that to go more bloodborne? Hang the body upside down, decapitate the head. When I heard his hands were suspended over his head, I was thinking, the upside down hanging thing.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the hanged man.
I guess they just try to get to the heart of the problem.
Yes.
Nathan, you may be a father, but that joke was not appreciated by anyone in this room.
Get mad. Bye, Dakota.
Bye, Dakota, no.
Welcome back.
Dakota has been bounced in and out like 300 times.
What does that mean? I figured one of you feared the storm again.
But
I'm not having you left.
He turns and walks back down the path with you, and he says, the simple fact of the matter is, I'm not sure what all questions you have, but the name of the man that seeks our destruction, his name is Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson. That's what you came up with. You came up with Johnson.
Yes. First name Johnson. Last name
Jared. I'm getting big dick energy of this.
I mean, okay. I'm cool with them. I don't know how to say this properly. I never smashed a Johnson before.
After the hype speech I posted in chat for Geralt,
you could have said that more perfectly,
say that. You're disserviced, Long Dong Silver.
I've never smashed a Johnson before.
To every guy in the video chat right now, I am sorry you had to hear that sentence.
That's gonna be in the highlight reels right there.
That's gonna be in your Twitch clips.
Oh man.
I've never smashed a Johnson. Oh, you're getting hell Monday, Nathan.
What are you talking
about? Oh god.
I was just gonna lie them at work, just ready to prove you a liar.
he tells you that he asked you, what do you plan on doing about smashing this job?
Better get plenty of lube, buddy.
Hold on. I'm gonna walk up. I'll walk up to it and I'm gonna look it in the eye. I'm gonna tell it, go away. Get your Johnsons out of here.
Look at it do it with one eye. Oh, please tell me it's a Cyclops storm.
He's human, but if I had thought any further ahead about it, I probably wouldn't have.
Oh my god. I'm going to hell.
Sorry, not really, but
Well, no, I'm the only one.
Lord, forgive us. We're going to hell.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stay and help fight this guy because it sounds like he wants me dead.
You want to beat him? Is that what you want to do?
If we can, listen. If we can, I would like to settle this disagreement without touching Johnson. We can get away without putting hands on anybody's Johnson. We'll be doing really good.
Why is this funny? Why are we juveniles?
You know what? At this point, we're already down the rabbit hole. You can't spell happiness with a P-E-N-I-S. Stay slutty, my friends.
You said Johnson, Nathan.
Oh, jeez. So, he looks at you in genuine surprise.
I think everybody else did. Go
ahead. He's like, you mean you would stand and fight against people that you would consider brothers?
Oh, shit.
No, I will stand and fight against people I consider evil.
And his name is Johnson.
And his name is Magic Johnson.
So,
we're not circling around back to me, right?
So we're going to give Geralt an epic training montage. And here are some insights that you learn about the Lunar Order.
Yep.
They
Johnson.
They have several sacraments. One of them is what the sacrament you learned that the sacrament you watched last night. It's something that they refer to as the Sacrament of Sin.
Okay.
Because murder bad, murder evil.
Yes.
They have another sacrament where, in order to put themselves at a heightened capacity for combat, a heightened capacity to fight, to really draw the beast within out, so that they can depend on that strength a little bit better, make use of it better. Most werewolves have a taste for human blood. They believe that to be an affront and a sin to not just Luna, but mankind itself. So they take to drinking. Crap! What did I say earlier? Not goat's blood. That's even worse.
It is.
Is it cow's blood? I think it's cow's blood. They drink sheep's blood. Sheep's blood, what it was. Okay, I remember.
Hey, Storm.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, it's totally metagame here, but I think you should give him the option to hire a mercenary named Rosie to beat Johnson.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
We are the epic mercenary duo, Rosie and Palmer.
Oh gosh. So as you get your epic training montage, you find yourself at the top of the battlements when the invading force comes.
Okay.
And it's pretty obvious just how badly the Lunar Order is outnumbered.
Okay.
They're presently outnumbered 10-1.
No big deal. This is fine.
So the abbot stands next to you on the battlements as you look onto the sea of men that have dedicated themselves to this cause. And what does Geralt feel right now?
Does he feel a Johnson?
Storm, what are you doing, man? First you named the guy Johnson, and then you ask me what I feel? Where are you at? What are you doing mentally?
Drinking too much. Because that was the first thing that came to mind. The first thing that came to mind was Sergeant Major Johnson. I already knew his name was Commander Dregs, but I didn't have a. That was just the first thing that came to mind. Now,
what do you feel?
What is facing down a force, knowing that the commander resulted in a life-altering event for you, your
There's
mother,
no
and a life-ending event for everyone else. What does Geralt feel right now?
Confusion. He part of Geralt wants to maybe convince some of the followers that this is not the right way because he thinks that Riser is still, holy and true. Maybe these guys are just confused about what Riser, or not confused about what Riser is teaching, but they're following the wrong person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're false teachers, false prophets.
Yeah.
So, the abbot tells you that the parlay is about to begin.
Okay.
And asked you if you want to stay back or if you want to come with him.
Come with him.
Okay. So, out there, it's just you and Derek.
Okay.
Well, it's you, Derek, and then the enemy commander.
All right.
And the abbot says, or asks the man, "What brings you here?" And to which Commander Dregs says, "I'm here to wipe this abominations like you off the face of the earth."
Gerald pipes up and says, "Abominations? What abominations? What abominations does Riser say needs wiped off the face of the earth?"
He looks at you and says, well, at first he gets very uppity and very upset with you. And then he points at you with what authority that he believes he has and says, "You speak of the doctrine of the undead. But tell me, boy, man, hobgoblin, what forces employ undead? Why just treat the sick or treat the symptoms when you could cure the sickness? Monsters, abominations such as these, they employ the undead."
Then show me one.
He He looks at you and says, "They feast upon blood, Geralt."
They feast upon animals the same as you.
And what happens when that urges get out of control?
They die by their own hand on their own time.
Not always.
Yes.
Not always.
So I see you are not one to be reasoned with.
The abbot actually nods in agreement with the commander.
Oh.
He says, "Not always do they make the right. Not always do people make the right choice."
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. But does that mean everyone here has to die?
The commander puffs his chest up and says, "There be 100 men in there. What if 100 dead saves 1,000,000 more?"
That is not what Riza's teaching says. Riza's teaching says to not be an unruly flame. To spread the warmth of Riza. Not to burn the world down.
What happens when one of these monsters loses their will? They go out, butcher a few dozen people on non-consecrated ground. Someone finds them. They don't get a proper burial, and they come back as undead.
And that's... Go ahead.
Seen it happen with my own eyes. Root of the problem. Monsters. Evil. Those who would create and employ the undead.
Then I suppose you're going to kill all the human civilizations as well.
That's quite an interesting logical leap.
You're telling me you've never seen a human necromancer?
This is my point.
That everyone needs to die?
No. My point is that monsters like these get loose in the streets. Kill innocent people. Those innocent people don't get a proper burial, send off, cremation. And then people like you describe, these necromancers, get a hold of these bodies. Their souls are damned.
I feel like you're missing the point. There will always be someone to do evil. Someone to raise the dead when there ought not be. That is when we step in the place. Our job will never cure the world of the evil, but we can protect those from the undead. We can protect these people from the undead. We can step in when we need to, instead of taking life when there ought not be dead people's lives taken.
He tells you that you're the voice of one, and he looks to all his troops, but the voices of 1,000 agree with me. Preventative measures.
Have you asked them? Is there any point in doing this? Like me saying, like, maybe there's somebody in there who doubts.
I mean, they've sworn their allegiance to this commander.
Okay. So yeah, there's no point in chasing that rabbit. I got you. Pussies.
So Tadakon whispers in your ear, and he says, "Geralt,
Yes,
you have two
Tentacle.
options here.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You could walk away right now.
Yeah.
Or I can lend you my power. And we wipe this force off the face of the earth to never harm anyone again.
So you mean this man, this wretch, this man who stole my father, stole my upbringing, this heathen monster who blasphemes the teachings of Ryza. We can kill him right now.
Tadakon tells you 12 seconds.
Master slave, give me your power.
This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Do. Type.
Mass murder.
I get to kill 1,000 people?
I'm the little machine.
I mean, you literally just said 1,000 people. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm really curious.
And Geralt just leveled up to level 20.
No, hold that message for just a second. Tadakon tells you 12 seconds.
Okay.
That's what you get from this. And after that, you're going to be not broken, but you're going to be exhausted on all levels.
Do I need to read this?
Here, and do you accept the terms and conditions?
So I'm confused. I thought I was supposed to be reading this, or am I not?
Not so. You are going to read that when you accept the terms and conditions. And well, first I'm gonna paint the scene.
Okay. Do I accept the terms and conditions? You give me power, I murder everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
Those are the terms and conditions.
Yes, I accept your terms.
Okay, you're gonna be really tired afterwards, but I don't think it's gonna be much of a problem because these werewolf guys kind of like you.
Yes.
So, you feel an overflow of energy as for a force wave just pushes everything around you back. Green magic flows all around you as motes of light flow around you. And the words begin to come out of your mouth.
You want me to read this?
Yes.
I, who is about to awaken, who forged weapons worthy to challenge the gods. I was inspired by the moon and sought to change balance. I am the architect of your destruction. Awaken, Tadakon, the crafty.
As the last of those words come out of your mouth, you're transformed. You are transformed into a exact replica of Tadakon in his prime.
I'm a freaking dragon?
Yes, you are currently, and you are. I just sent you what it does or what it's doing. You take on the form of an ancient green dragon as if under the effects of the true polymorph spell, except that you can still cast your spells. Your AC is set to 24. This is sort of a preview of something that you're going to be able to do later. But, and then we can cutscene the rest of this as you bring the wrath of God down upon these poor fools.
Yeah.
So, as the energy around you explodes and you are transformed into Tadakon, I assume your first order of business is to cut the man before you in half.
Can I eat him?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Attack on Titan?
Yes.
Yeah, rip him in half. Nom, 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 nom. Am I sane in this moment, or is Tadakon completely taken over?
Oh, you are you. You just
Oh,
effectively hijacked Tatacon's body.
okay. Well, that would be gross. I don't want to put nasty man in my. Ugh. I don't want to put the Johnson in my mouth. Okay, I take it back. I take back what I said.
As I said in my last comment, the "We're Going to Hell" T-shirt.
And there's nothing I
That's
can
all I got,
do.
kicks.
Nothing I can do. If I shoot his Johnson, that sounds inappropriate. If I burn his Johnson, that sounds inappropriate. If I maybe I could I slice his Johnson?
We are going to hell. We need it on a T-shirt. It'll sell like hotcakes.
I'm going to shrivel his Johnson.
Let me get
You're a green dragon. You have poison breath. You could poison his Johnson.
I'm gonna poison that Johnson.
So wait. So when you use dragon's breath, you're technically blowing. Does that mean you're gonna?
No.
I don't be here anymore.
Oh gosh. Oh.
All right.
Anyway.
So as you exhale poison, the caustic gas just moves through the valley as it takes out the first 3 rows of this heathenistic army that has risen up in spite of Riser's teachings. The rest of the men are screaming bloody fucking murder because a damn dragon just appeared out of nowhere.
Give a man a blowjob.
Shut up, Brian.
You take a flight through the air, and it's just a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah. Wait, shut up. Take a brush.
People screaming, people dying, getting cut down in their prime by a dragon, cut in half, cut down. There's blood everywhere.
Getting shot with ballistas from my tummy.
Stomach ballista.
I do have a turret and a cannon or a ballista in my chest.
Yes.
Yep.
Not the only place we ever believe to.
That was part of the design.
Dang it.
So, upon your first push into the line of these soldiers, the abbot called for a full attack as they are on the battlefield with you, cleaning up what you don't with your giant, massive dragon form. And the battle is over much faster than what they had anticipated. As the last two are being cleaned up by the werewolf brothers of the Lunar Order, your transformation drops. You fall to your knees. You gain 2 levels of exhaustion, and the abbot comes up and takes you up by your arm and puts your arm around his neck and begins to walk you back to the fortress and tells you, "You fight pretty good for a priest. Didn't know you were a damn dragon, though."
I'm too tired to talk. I guess I'll say there's many things that we don't know.
Yeah, there is.
Like how to smash a Johnson. Anyway, so hopefully I'll get some more answers about what to do with Riser next time. But let's go to Brian or Dakota. Thank you, Storm. Wonderful job.
Yours does. It didn't come to me in a dream, but it came to me.
Other than your naming, fantastic job.
I mean, He finished 3 of my 5 things I had in mind, so I give it a thumbs up.
All right, Dakota.
Bill Cosby.
Cousin, let's go bowling.
Will the Bill Cosby nun please respond?
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? I don't know. He sounded pretty much half exhausted.
Uh-oh.
So I guess we go to Elisham.
Yeah.
That's me.
We'll see if I just message him. We'll see if the message is back, but I'm gonna pick it up with Brian. So they get you some pants. What the fuck is that?
I have no idea.
All right, they get you some pants.
Awesome.
The most important part of this conversation, they got you some fucking pants. And she explains the barkeep's a woman. She's a sort of a think of like a Nordish woman, like Skyrim, like really burly, bulky.
Oh yeah, but is she cute?
Sure.
Okay, she's not darkish. She's not darkish, but she's cute.
Yes.
Okay, I can live with that. Let's go.
So
I'm rubbing my nipple at her.
So she tells you that or well, she goes, so is it your first time, love?
First time with what?
Being here in the Dreamlands.
Yes, it is. Well, I mean, I don't know my first time, but I mean, it's definitely my first time getting this far.
So, here's what you need to know about the Dreamlands.
All right.
Very important stuff. Okay? How did you get here?
Okay. I pull up my notepad and pencil.
Okay.
Stay away from the Johnsons.
Her name isn't Johnson.
Awesome.
So she asked you how did you get here? Were you a dreamer or are you physical?
I mean, I think I'm physical, but I think I'm dreaming. So I think I'm physically a dreamer.
All right. That's how most people get here. There's ways to get here physically, but if you die in the game, you don't die in real life if you're a dreamer.
Okay, then I'm a dreamer then.
Well, you didn't get here physically, so
No.
She says, "So, what do you seek here, lad?"
Your soul.
I'm afraid I don't have one of those.
Okay, then I see godhood.
She looks at you like what you just said is the most absurd thing she ever heard in her life.
I seek to gain knowledge of empowerment. How about that? Does that make sense?
She goes, "Are you seeking the Dream Core?"
What is the dream core? And I will tell you.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and explain this to you, like out of context, like well out of like metagaming. So what the Dream Core is it's the heart of the dreamscape.
Okay, that sounds important.
Yes. So at the heart of the dreamscape, it's a very dangerous and perilous journey. Needless to say, since it's like the fucking I forgot the fucking word for that. MacGuffin. Since the magical MacGuffin you're looking for.
MacGuffin? Did you say MacGuffin?
Yes, the magical MacGuffin.
Like Mick Guffin.
That's the writing terminology, yes.
I like that. That's cool. Never heard that before.
Oh, MacGuffin? It's like the best example I can give you in literature is that, like Lord of the Rings, the One Ring is the magical MacGuffin.
Oh, that's important. Then. Hey, is MacGuffin one end or two ends? I picture it with two ends.
I have no idea. I literally failed every class I ever had any spelling involved in it whatsoever.
All right, MacGuffin.
I
I
cannot.
know what you mean.
I cannot spell. I can do math. I like numbers. I don't like letters.
I spell it like McMuffin, except for McGuffin.
McGuffin.
Yeah.
Guffin, not muffin. Anyway,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it's the same phonetical sense though.
yeah.
Except for the G's and the M, or the M's and G. Yeah, that's what I mean.
So the heart of the dream heart or the dream core. Legends say it shows you what your heart most desires,
Really?
or gives you what your heart most desires.
Oh, it gives you what? I need to find this shit.
So gives shows it's a pretty relative term depending on what it is that your heart desires. To sort of give you a better example of what exactly it is, let's say I'm going to use our characters for quick reference. Let's say that for Ayana or Geralt reach the dream core. And their heart most desire would be have an audience with their god. That's what would be the dream core.
Right. So it's kind of like a wish spell with true seeing.
That's a pretty good analogy, pretty good accusation.
It's a sentient a wish spell that can witness truth seeing.
Yeah. I'll add those
Interesting.
descriptions.
Or to put it in other terms, the wish core is basically a god in itself, but it's not sentient in itself.
But with capability of sentience.
Yes. It's
It's like a third
It's a
party.
it's a Schrodinger's cat level of paradox.
Yeah, so yeah. With sentience.
Yeah.
That's got your well being in mind. And omnipotent.
Yeah.
So, in order to reach the dream core is not at the heart of the dreamlands.
Okay. What is the heart of Dreamlands?
That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Now I have to pull up a map.
That's awesome. I like maps.
For those listening at home, I literally, I quite literally just did some research on H.P. Lovecraft's Dreamlands.
Oh shit. We about to go all atheist and shit.
But I also recommend looking into like the actual Dreamlands of Dungeons and Dragons, because that shit is fascinating as hell.
It is. I agree.
No, it is very fascinating. At the heart of the Dreamlands itself is an ocean.
That's deep.
Now, what you need to get in a position where,
I can swim.
well, yes, but what you need to get in a position where you can reach the dream core.
Maybe a submarine.
Yeah. The dream core is not within the Dreamlands itself. The Dreamlands just simply will lead you towards. It's kind of like a stepping stone towards the dream sphere.
That's paradoxical.
Yes. So I want you to imagine that the Dreamland. So in the Great Wheel cosmology, you have like prime material, then you have your outer plane or your inner planes, and then your outer planes, and then you have the far beyond, and then you have the Dreamlands or the dream sphere.
Yes.
So the Dreamlands is the stepping stone between the far realms and the dream sphere.
Okay.
So
just recap. You said the Dreamlands are the stepping stone between the far realms and the dream sphere.
The dream sphere, yes. The dream sphere being the all-encompassing thing that exists around the moral conception of the planes.
Oh wow, that's significant. That's pretty far out there.
Yes. So in your dream, you have circumnavigated the far realms and have made your way between it and the dream sphere. Did I tell you that I worked on this campaign for 6 months?
You did.
Gosh, the dream sphere or the dream plane in Dungeons and Dragons lore is so fucking fascinating. The two things I find the most fascinating in Dungeons and Dragons lore is three things in sequential order. Is first and foremost the dream plane, followed by the negative energy plane, and then the far realms.
Holy shit. Okay. At least you didn't go into like all the different multiverses that are generated every second.
My fucking brain would explode. I already have enough in here.
Yeah.
And you have to account for every multiverse. There's also every pocket dimension within those multiverses.
Exactly. And all the different variations within those pocket dimensions, within those multiverses, within those extra dimensions.
Listen, I've hard enough time keeping up with player choices, how that affects my world. I cannot begin to comprehend the multiverse theory in Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, you've already got to deal with one pocket dimension, which has its own demigod.
So, she does tell you, however, that, and this will also help because I feel like achieving godhood is going to become, or it's a long-term goal. One does not become a god in a day.
No.
She tells you that the quickest way, or not necessarily the quickest way, but the direction of the dream world or the dream sphere in relative positioning to where you are currently at is that you need to head east.
All right. What's east?
I'm so glad you asked. So to the east, you're currently on a peninsula near the Middle Ocean.
Okay. So I'm on land. There is that.
You're on land, 100%.
I need to head east.
You would have to seek passage to one of the Middle Ocean cities, or the cities past the Middle Ocean.
So I got a question. Is this the Middle East?
Being technical about it, you're in the Middle West.
Okay.
I don't have a very good Midwestern accent, which is why I'm not torturing you about cheese puns and don't you knows.
So I need to head east in the ocean. Okay. That's kind of ironic, but okay.
You will need to go all the way east to the port of Night. And then
I have a question. Hypothetically speaking, so I gotta go east. I gotta go all the way east. Okay? So this content I'm on is it round? So it's like all the way east to the point where I'm almost going west again, or like just all the way east, mid east?
So the land that you're in is like a coin. It's like a quarter or a silver dollar.
You flat Earth, gotcha.
Yes. In the Dreamlands, we believe in the flat Earth conspiracy.
All right.
So once you reach far enough either way, east or west, it will lead you either into the far realms, which will irreversibly damage your mind.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Or you can go to the dream world or the dream sphere, which will lead you to your heart's innermost desire, assuming you survive. So
that's enticing.
So here's the important thing to keep in mind about your current expedition into the dream world.
Okay.
Is that yes, you need to head east, but in the state that you are currently in, you get to choose when you wake up.
Oh. Okay.
If you die, you end up back here at the tavern without fucking pants. Again.
But am I in a room in the tavern by myself, or am I in a crowded room with other people without my pants? Because that's a significant difference. If I'm in a room without myself, that's not that big a deal. But if I'm in the middle of the tavern with a lot of people around, that's kind of embarrassing.
So he tells you it depends on what time you die.
Well, shit. I mean, I do have invisibility at will, though, so let's go ahead.
So, it's kind of like quick saving in a video game, as far as your dream world expedition is.
I want a quick save.
Well, your quick save is that whenever you wake up, that's where you're going. Whenever you wake up, that creates your quick save.
Oh, okay.
So when you fall back asleep, you can elect to pick up that save where you're at in the dream world.
Wow. That is very cool. Let's carry on then, shall we?
So,
do I have a compass? Do I know which way is east? I mean, should I be asking this right now?
So, this is what's going to make this a much longer term project, because this is something that's going to stretch for quite a few levels. Is that all you have is pants and Katarvas.
Is there a store nearby, or am I just on an empty plateau?
You're kind of in a town, but you're also you don't have dream money.
Oh, but I do have stealth, right?
That's fair. You have stealth and Son of Hand, I suppose.
Yes, I do.
And you have a fucking dragon, so do with that as you will.
How big is this dragon? You did say he grows some, so how big did he grow so far? Big enough to cause massive hysteria and panic so I can loot things, or?
He's about the size of a horse.
Can I ride him?
Oh, totally.
Will he let me ride him?
You would have to ask nicely.
Hey, Guitarfist, can I ride you? Like a horse?
he looks at you kind of like suspicious, and he goes, "You know how big of a disgrace that would be to a fucking dragon lord?"
What if I became a god? Would that make it more of an honor?
He kind of scratches his dragon chin. He's like, "Only if you can do me a favor."
What's that?
He tells you that so his desire is that you enter the dream core separately.
So he's gonna wish for dragon.
So wait. Just to recap this, Catarphus, you want me to enter the dream core separate from you so that you can enter the dream core upon your own accord, and therefore, what happens when you? Well, here's a question: what happens when you enter the dream core? Here's a good question I haven't asked anybody yet. What happens if I enter the dream core?
You are shown your heart's desire.
Okay. So then if I enter the dream core separately from Catarphus, his heart's desire will be shown and made into reality, or just shown to him?
So I'm going to pull the screen back for just a second and sort of explain to you how your path to divinity will work.
Yeah.
So the way your path to divinity will work is that eventually you will make your way to the dream core. So once you walk into the dream core, which again is a very perilous journey even after you exit the dreamlands, once you reach the dream core and walk in, it's going to show you your heart's desire. So what your heart's desire is going to be as far as like achieving divinity is that you are going to need a mote of divinity. So the Dream Core is going to show you where to find that mode of divinity, and then I will tell you the dangers and the possibilities as far as that, what comes with that mode of divinity when you find it.
So what you're saying is if my actual desire turns out to be in the end the actual destruction of the dragon kind. I'm just saying if I have a last minute change of heart, hypothetically speaking.
Right. It's more or less if what I will tell you, like metagaming, is that your current goal is ascending to godhood.
Yeah.
If that goal changes and you want that goal to change, then I will change what's in the Dream Core.
Okay.
So right now the Dream Core would show you in a vacuum right now. If you walked in the Dream Core right now, I would tell you where the mote of divinity is on the prime material plane. Or a mote of divinity on the prime material plane is.
Second question: how many times can I enter into this Dream Core?
So, I'm going to use the D&D mythology version of the Dreamlands.
Yeah.
So it's literally I think it's called literally called the Dream Plane. The plane of dreams is what it's called. It's fucking Dream Plane. So it's going to be frankly pretty dangerous. It's something that I don't expect you to get on the first try as far as the dice gods are concerned. The dice gods might prove me wrong, but it's literally making it through several hazards, several saving throws is basically what it's going to be. Mechanically is what it's going to break down to is saving throws. Which
so listen, Catarphus, I'm just going to level with you here, bro. As long as whatever you desire in this Dream Core does not interfere directly or indirectly in any way, shape, or form with what I desire in this Dream Core, then I am cool with this. And I have no problem with this. I give a shit if you want to enslave the rest of humanity once I get to the Dream Core. I will even help you to that end. But stay the fuck out of my way or I will do my best to end you.
Catarphus laughs. Nathan, are you still awake? Please say yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to explain Catarphus's motivation, and then Brian, I'm going to offer you an opportunity to retort, because this is probably as deep as Catarphus is going to allow you to get, save for, you actually having a bonding experience with him. So Catarphus tells you that his only desire is to fucking end Luna.
I could live with that.
He wants to end Luna, and he wants to free his dragon brethren from the shackles that is the sacred gear.
That sounds like fun, Catarphus. And in fact, you know what? If you help me with my goal, I'll be more than happy to help you with your goal.
Then we poured, friend, and to think, a drow no less.
Yeah. Ironic, huh? Too bad Loth left a bad taste in my mouth to really want to deal with any more drow gods or goddesses.
So, next time on Dungeon Ball Z, here's what's going to happen. We're going to, Brian, you're going to wake up. Nathan, you're going to return from your trip. You're going to have enough time to recover from those 2 levels of exhaustion, so you'll be fine. Dakota's asleep, but I will talk to him later this week about the conclusion of what his desires were as far as this session is concerned. after that, we will probably move into Silver Sanctum and are moving that direction as I sort of ponder how exactly it is you're going to make it into Silver Sanctum. There's a lot of like deep-seated lore there because my favorite aspect of being a dungeon master is building a world, and this is one of those that I took a lot of time meticulously crafting. But really, really excited I got to use the Dreamlands and everything that was accompanied with that, because I wasn't sure if I was ever going to be able to use it. But next time on Dungeon Ball Z, we'll probably approach the Silver Sanctum. There might be some things that go on with the party members, like between sessions, as far as like Brian's journey into the Dreamlands, but we will definitely we'll definitely put that on stream when appropriate, or when the opportunity presents itself, when it's something of dire importance, like if Brian actually makes it to, or when rather Brian makes it to the Dream Court, we'll definitely put that on stream and discuss the journey that led to that. But next time we'll probably move into Golden Horizon. We'll probably move into Silver Sanctum and advance the main story a little bit, and then we'll revisit player goals, and then we'll try to pace it pretty well with that. Pretty soon, all of you will be going into probably after the Silver Sanctum arc. We will be looking at Devil Promotion exams, where all of you get to enter into being mid-class devils, and I think that's I think I covered everything. It'll be Silver Sanctum, promotion exams, and then whatever the story leads us from there.
Heck yeah.
All right, Nathan, I really hope you enjoyed what I put in front of you today, because yours was the one I was the most concerned about.
You put Jonathan in front of you.
Did put a big old army of Johnsons right in front of me.
I feel like I put a lot of weight into yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because not even like I feel like I put a lot of weight into yours. That's why I want to take like a minute for you to process that, because that was a lot of intense shit that I just put Geralt through.
It was a whole lot.
And Geralt was the one that was at the forefront of my mind, because I was like, man, what if I was concerned that you wouldn't be happy with it. But from a storytelling perspective, I think we hit a lot of high notes.
Oh yeah.
Not Nathan. He's always happy with the good old Johnson.
No, I think you did a good job. I wasn't joking. I really my hair was starting to stand up on end once I figured out what was going on. It was good.
I greatly appreciate it, because I literally spent the 2 hours before we started, like mulling it over, and like I was like, well, what if like the working on like the